What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What is going on? As you can see, I am not in the usual spot that I am, man. I'm not at home. I'm in the hotel. We traveling a little bit, but brought the computer, so we got to get some things going, get some things started, man. How was everybody doing, man? It's been what? Let me check the calendar. Like 2 weeks. 2 weeks since we've been on the live, man. I miss y'all, man. I miss y'all's perspective, the conversation. What's going on, man? Let me just get a little bit more. Waiting for everybody to come in a little bit. But man, we got a lot to discuss. A lot of things happened since the last time that we were able to come here live, man. But we're gonna talk about that in a second, man. Everybody's good. How's everybody doing, man? How's the week so far? Hope everybody's spirits is up. A lot of people have been hitting me up about the Drake and Kendrick beef. And we might talk about that a little bit later towards the end of the show, man. But I'm going to try to rock out with you guys as long as I can, man. I got to make a move, but I'm going to try to delay it a little bit more so we can discuss what's going on, man. Shout out to Martin. Shout out to my guy, Martin, man. Appreciate your time, bro. Appreciate you tapping into the mentor membership. What's going on, Big Chris, over in the UK? What's going on, my man? Man, I was just watching one of your rants about soccer the other day, man. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it. What's going on? Hey, Zeus, it'll fight unlike Canelo Munguia's sparring session. I got my thoughts on that, and we're going to touch on that shortly, man. Big Chris says boxing never disappoints in terms of in ring, then lets itself down out of the ring. Man, boxing and track and field have a lot in common, man. Nery was looking for one-shot KO, needed more jabs to the body, man. You just want to get into it. What's going on, my brother Francisco, all the way from AZ? Man, I'm sure it's hot right there, man. I'm sure it's hot there right now. Man, AZ is always a good place, man, but it's hot. It's like an oven out there. What's going on, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. But let's go into it, man. Oh, and also, man, we will be debuting a new segment that I'm going to call Round for Round. Again, when I started the doing live, man, I wanted to be more just get everybody in, sharing their perspective. And round for round, I'm going to give the floor to a couple people who want to come on, share your thoughts, talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, man. Get your message off, get your thoughts off. And we're going to keep it to a certain amount of time. The members, I got the members down. Members get 3 minutes to get whatever you want to talk about, because we got to add a little bit of schedule to it, right? Members, talk about whatever you want to talk about. You get 3 minutes. And those that are not members, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk about whatever you want. But that's a little bit later. We're still working out the kinks of the live, still trying to make it the best live show that we can possible. Let me get these comments and then we'll touch on what's next, man. Prosper Nery, absolutely. Canelo could have got Munguia out there early. Too much respect, compassion for your opponent robs the fans and the sport, in my opinion. I completely hear you, man. Oh, J Dap, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Good to see you, man. If you want to come in a little bit later, man, and share your thoughts, man, you let me know. You get 3 minutes, man. 3 minutes as you are a member. Just want to show my appreciation for you, man. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Where you guys want to start? Let's start here. Let's talk about Stanionis, right? We haven't seen Stanionis in 2 years. Not that it was all his fault. You can't, Virgil Ortiz pulled out twice, couldn't make the weight both times. So it's not his fault that he was waiting and, couldn't get a fight. But 2 years later, he's in there with Maestro. Well, what do you guys think about the fight, man? Again, like, these two fought in the amateur, so they knew each other decently enough to kind of know what each other is about. But I thought it was a good fight. Stanionis did look a little bit rusty to me, as was expected for not fighting for 2 years. That stuff is expected. But for the most part, man, I thought he battled himself back pretty well. He's not a devastating puncher, right? But he breaks you down with accumulation of punches. Like, he hit Maestro with the right hand, and Maestro just ate it. But he also did a good job of rolling with the punches as well, too. So I thought it was a good fight, competitive fight. And it was one of those fights, to me personally, where in the amateurs, Stanionis beat him twice. So he was up 2-0. It's one of those fights for me where if they fought 10 times, Stanionis would probably win 9 out of those 10 times, in my opinion. But it was a good competitive fight. But hopefully, man, we get to see Stanionis in the ring more. I would love to see, Stanionis maybe against Mario Barrios. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about next. But what do you guys think about this fight? Was it an exciting fight for you guys, a competitive fight? Or was it just one of those fights where it's like, yo, it's whatever? Because I hear back and forth things about this whole card in general. But let's start here with Stanionis. What do you guys think about the fight? Ben, what's going on, my man? Man, I'm grateful, man. Appreciative of life, my brother. Glad to be here, man. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts and perspective on things, man. Hope you're doing well, man. What was your honest opinion of the entire Canelo Munguia fight card? Man, honestly, I thought it was decent. Like, I'm not going to say it was a great card. I thought it was decent. Not too much like excitement for me personally, but I thought it was a decent card. But we've seen better ones. We've seen better ones, but I thought it was a decent card. If I had to put like a rating out of 10, man, I'm gonna give it like a 6.5, 7 for me. The ring rush showed Stanionis. He still won, but not as easy as people made out, in my opinion. Think he needs another chair pick opponent before a tough fight with Barrios fight. I want to see. Yeah, there were some people in the comments, man, and I get it, right? Like, if you are a supporter of a certain fighter, you're going to rock out with your fighter regardless. And I get that, man. But, man, inactivity in any sport is going to cause some type of question mark. And Stanionis, it took him a while to get going, man. And the ring rush show, the timing was off a little bit. But he did what he needed to do to get the win. So we'll see what he does next, man. I hope we get to see him, 2 more times this year. I would love to see him fight Mario Barrios next. I think that would be a good matchup. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about Figueroa and Magdaleno. What do you guys think about this fight? I thought it was another competitive fight, man. I thought it took Figueroa a while to kind of get going. It took him like, I want to say 4 to 5 rounds. I don't really like Figueroa boxing too much, man. Like, I get, you want to ease into it, right? You want to use the jab. You want to do all of that. But when he started applying the pressure, man, you could see it was starting to get to Magdaleno, man. I think Magdaleno's wars that he's been in over the years was starting to catch up to him, man. He did have some really good moments, landed some really good shots, right? And he had some really good rounds. But 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, as it went on, man, it just got to be Brandon Figueroa's pressure. And then that body shot. The man was covering up. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice high guard covering up. But Figueroa came underneath that rib cage. That was a beautifully placed, accurate body shot if I ever seen one, man. That was a great shot. But a competitive fight. And, Figueroa got the job done, man. Magdaleno, man, he's a solid fighter, but has a lot of questions marked now for him moving forward, man. But again, competitive fight, good fight. What do you guys think about the fight? Brandon Figueroa versus Ray Vargas next. That's a good question, man. The thing is, for me, like, Vargas doesn't really fight a whole lot anymore. Like, it's usually like once a year. You know what I'm saying? Maybe twice, and he's already fought his once. So I don't even know if we're going to see Vargas anytime soon. But that would be a good fight as well, too, man. That's a good fight. I like that one. But any quick thoughts on that before we keep it going, man? I know you guys want to talk about Canelo and Inoue, and we'll get into that. Job done for Figueroa once again. Another one not active for a year. So like Stanionis needs to be 2 more times out. Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, if anybody says, oh, inactivity is not going to hurt you, man, like, you're just being biased. Like, you can rock out for your person, but you don't gotta be biased, man. Like, inactivity is gonna play a role. Fighting once a year, like, another example of this, like, Terrence Bud Crawford is fighting Madrid. Like, and I don't know if that's going to be an easy fight for Terrence Buck Crawford. Like, that's a tough fight, and Crawford hasn't fought in a while. So we're going to see how that stuff goes as well, too. Figueroa, Joet Gonzalez, love to see that, man. Yeah, that would be a great fight, man. Joet Gonzalez is as tough as they come. That's a cat who can take some punches and keep marching forward, man. That would be a good fight as well, too. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about Mario Barrios, Fabian Maidana. What do you guys think about this fight? You know what was the most interesting thing for me about this fight? And I'm not going to say it's a concern for me when it comes to Mario Barrios. Maybe it's a concern for him, but it's something that you got to keep in mind, man. Maidana wasn't throwing a whole lot of shots in this fight, but when he did throw and did land, man, Barrios was feeling it. When Barrios fought Keith Thurman, that was a dominant performance by Keith Thurman. Barrios, he was banged up, man. He was beat up, man. The face was, disconformed a little bit. Like, he was, messed up a little bit. And against this one, even though Mario Barrios landed way more shots than Maidana, Barrios' face, man, his eye was almost shut. And so sometimes, man, when you get hit over and over again, like the scar tissue that's built up, in the tissue that's broken down in a person's body, in their face, man, it gets weakened a little bit. And so even though Barrios was landing way more and connecting way more, man, he didn't, if you didn't watch the fight and you just looked at how each person looked, you would have thought that Barrios lost the fight. But I thought he boxed well in the fight. He scored the knockdown in the third, and he looked good, man. I just didn't like how his face looked. I think defensively, some things he's got to improve on. But for the most part, it was a good, solid fight. When I was doing the prediction of the video, like I said, man, like I just didn't know, like, who exactly Maidana was. You know what I'm saying? Because there are moments where he has flares of, like, potential, flares of talent and skill and the power. And then there's been fights I've watched of him, and I'm like, yo, my guy, like, what are you doing? You're not really doing much. And so I'm not sure if he was in this fight looking to, it seemed like he was trying to make a statement, one-shot knockout type of statement. And Barrios is as tough as they come, and that's not a guy that you're going to do that against, man. So not a bad fight, competitive fight, but felt like as soon as the fight went on a little bit longer, past this 8th round, Barrios started to separate himself. And, he got himself a wide decision. But again, I'm still not sure how good Maidana is. I see potential, but it's like, yo, if you're not going to let your hands go, man, like, how are you going to win those rounds? But good fight for Barrios. Again, man, I don't know what the scar tissue is of his face, man. He's getting bruised up way too easily. And against, someone who can punch, Maidana can punch. It just makes, like, if he gets hit consistently over and over again, like Stanionis would, I don't know what that face would look like again, man. I didn't like how easily that he was bruised up, but solid fight, and we keep it pushing. I would love to see Barrios Stanionis next, man. I think me and Chris have the same perspective on that. I think Chris probably wants that a little bit later, but I wouldn't mind seeing that next because it's going to bring the best out of both, man. And at this stage, man, look, this is what we need. Figueroa versus Inoue later in the future. That would be a great fight, man. I've said it a couple times before, brother. I think Figueroa's style makes it a little bit difficult for Inoue, man. Figueroa's style is difficult for anybody because of that pressure. But that would be a good fight. Barrios, Sesco, I'd make next, then Barrios Stanionis. Yeah, Sesco is a good fighter as well. That'd be a good fight as well. That's good matchmaking right there, my man. Barrios versus Gio Santillan versus Norman Winner. Man, who is the favorite in this one? I would assume it would be Santillan because of what he did to Alexis Rocha. But man, this is one of those situations, man, where Norman needs a big win, and this could be it. But Santillan, man, he's feeling confident, feeling good. This is a good fight. I don't know if anybody will move up to 126. Yeah. I think he will. I just don't, we just don't know how soon. Barrios boxed well, but needs to work on defense. Absolutely. Stanionis versus Barrios. I don't know if Inoue can move up to 126. Yeah, I think he'll move up, man. Won't mind Barrios Stanionis next, but would like Barrios favorite in active but hey, roll the dice. Jo is the favorite versus Norman. Is it like a massive favorite? Again, that makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia. What did we think about this fight? To go back to some of the comments that was mentioned earlier, man, I can absolutely see why you think the way that you think, because to me it looked like some of those rounds that Canelo just didn't want to take him out. It looked like when he had him hurt, he could have pushed the pace, turned up the pressure, and got him out of there. But honestly, man, I think he likes Munguia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he probably thinks Munguia is a respectable young man, and he likes his heart, likes the determination, and just likes him as a person. And he didn't want to, maybe discourage him or embarrass him, especially, he's another Mexican fighter, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Maybe he didn't want to pull full throttle and really close out the show, because it looked like he could have absolutely have done that. Before I touch on Canelo, I'm gonna touch on Munguia. Man, Munguia, I thought he fought a pretty good fight, man. When he was using the jab, man, that's when he was having success. But you could see that young ego, that young warrior wanted to get out a little bit and mix it in close with Canelo. And he was not really using any feints to really set up his shots. He wasn't really disguising anything. As Canelo said, I could see what he was trying to do and what shots were coming. And I think you could probably see it as well too, right? And Canelo did a great job of rolling with some of those shots. But I will say this, man, Munguia, for how he fought, man, I think he would have beat, well, I'm not going to say beat. It would have been a much more competitive fight against those top guys at 168. I thought it was a good, solid performance from Munguia. His defense was actually, he got hit a lot, but his defense was a little bit better than I thought that it was going to be. Canelo, let's talk about Canelo real quick, man, before we get to the comments. Man, I thought Canelo did a great job of pacing himself throughout this fight. Canelo in the previous fight, not against Charlo, but the previous ones before that, he would always gas out and tire out going into, anything past the 8th, 9th round and so forth. He would look tired, a little bit more winded, long-winded looking, but for the past 2 fights, he did a great job of going through the rounds, right? Doing what he needed to do and making sure that he wasn't overexerting himself. Now, there's always going to be talks about Canelo being washed, man. He's going down the drain. He's going this way. And I understand it, right? Everybody's opinion, you can always appreciate an opinion. I always do. But he should be going down the drain a little bit. He's got to fight a different fight. We're not going to get that old Canelo that we're used to, man. He's 60 plus fights in. He's not that guy anymore, where we're going to see him pull full throttle, full metal punches. We're going to see a little bit more calculated, a little bit more discipline. The head movement, the defensive prowl like he had when he fought Danny Jacobs. It's not that Canelo anymore. This Canelo is going to roll with the punches a little bit more. He's going to sit in the pocket a little bit more, but he did move, laterally a little bit more than I thought that he would in this fight. But I thought it was a good performance from Canelo, man. I can always remember a fighter for what they were, but look at them for what they are right now. And he's not that same old Canelo. This new version of Canelo, man, he does things a little bit different. But one thing is for sure, man, that experience was through and through in this fight, man. He took some nice, big, clean, flush shot from Munguia, and, he walked through it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the crazy things, too. Again, going back to what we talked about before, when we started the show, man, a lot of people were saying, man, Munguia is going to knock out Canelo. Look, anything can happen in boxing. I get that, right? But Canelo has one of the best chins in the sport. We've never really seen him down or hurt like that, right? So Munguia landed some nice shots, but Canelo never really looked phased in this fight, never looked worried. I thought it was a pretty good, if I had to say, I give him a 7.5 out of 10, right? It was a pretty good performance. Not a great performance, but it was a pretty good performance, because if he would have closed out the show like I thought that he was going to, that would have made a statement. But He likes Munguia. Now, I could be wrong. We're gonna go to the comments real quickly. I could be wrong, but it looked like Canelo was like, all right, I'm gonna just beat this guy up. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna beat this guy up, work on my stuff, but I'm not going to take him out. I'm not gonna embarrass him, man. I want the people to see two Mexican fighters Cinco de Mayo weekend, and we're gonna put on a great show. He could have closed out the show to me, but he didn't do it. So that's my thoughts, man. As far as what's next for Canelo, we saw the video when it seemed like he was inviting David Benavidez into the ring. Benavidez, was just like this, like he was smiling. They were looking at it. Don't know what that's about. Don't know what's going to happen next. It's going to be interesting to see what Canelo does next. But all in all, Canelo versus Munguia, solid fight. But I felt like he took the steam off of finishing the fight and closing out the show. That's my opinions on it, man. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking. Let's go to the comments. All 126 title holders waiting payday versus Inoue. Munguia versus fake Nello sparring. Come on, man. Munguia 4-8. Didn't try. Held back. Honestly, Canelo took it easy on Munguia. Cost a lot of people money on the TKO props. Yeah, man. But, man, Canelo ain't worried about anybody's placing bets, man. Canelo got more fight from Munguia than expected. But as expected, dominant performance from Canelo in yet another cherry pick win. Munguia just not at the level. He just needs more time, man. He needs more time. But I like Munguia, man. I think he will be back. I think he should, man. I'd love to see him fight 2 more times this year, man. That's a massive step up for the young cat as well, too, man. Like he don't got the experience. And if he had a little bit more development in his fights, man, who knows? It might have been a little bit different. I can't talk much about fake Canelo versus Munguia because how can I talk about a sparring? Unfortunately, Canelo will fight Berlanga and Skull next in cherry pick wins, man. Yeah, they've been talking about Berlanga a whole lot. Might sound crazy. Some of Canelo fights have been fixed for him. Kovalev Plant came to mind. I know you were saying that, man. I know you were saying that. Big TJ in the house. What's going on, my man? Gio versus Norman, a good fight, man. Man, that could be a fight of the year candidate, I think, in my opinion, bro. It was announced today that you guys can see Turkey Al-Sheikh. Turkey is aiming for Canelo first. All right, let me let me read it properly. For December 2024, January 25th. I think Canelo ducks. If he doesn't, he will lose comfortable by Crawford, man. I don't know if that's true, bro. I can't agree with that, man. That's a lot to be jumping up, man. It's one of those situations too where it's like, for me, everybody thinks that they're ready for a fighter until you get into the ring. And I'm a Bud Crawford type of guy. But at the same time, man, that's a lot to move up, man. Bud's in a tough fight himself at 154. I don't want to see that, right? I'd watch it, but if it was my choice, yeah, I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see that. Canelo looked good on Saturday. Agreed. Good fight, fun night, but nothing remarkable. Pretty much what we expected. Maybe Canelo didn't want to take him out, or this is how he fights at this point. Just paces himself. It felt perfunctory. Yeah, I think this is just the version of Canelo that we're going to get. He probably would have stopped him if it was Oscar De La Hoya in the ring. But I really think generally, man, I think he just likes the kid and didn't want to embarrass him. But again, solid performance. Many fake Canelo fighter Canelo versus Benna or David Morrell, Bud Crawford above 154 makes no sense. 100%, man. And Canelo ain't going down to no 154, man. Again, but I get the idea of the fight. Like, that fight is going to sell, but it's like, man, there's a lot of people at 154 that Bud can fight. There's still competitive people at 147 like Boots that Bud can fight. So for him to go from 147 to 154 to 161, that's a lot. And not to mention, like, Crawford has been showing that he's been aging very well with grace. But he's only getting older, man. And he hasn't been in a tough fight in a couple fights. And if you haven't been in a tough fight in a couple fights, you're due for a tough fight pretty soon. At least that's how I look at it. But yeah, man, I don't really want to see that, man. All we want is Canelo versus Benavidez, and after that, Canelo can walk in sunset. Yep, yep, yep. But that's the thing, that's the thing. If we wait on Canelo, we're gonna be waiting for a long time. But I did see Berlanga and who was it? Berlanga and David Morrell. Berlanga seems like he just wants to fight everybody, whether he believes he can win or not. He's putting his name out there. How can fake Nello be worried when he pays opponents to have respectful punches, softies, patties? Man, you going in on Canelo today, huh? Crawford going from 154 to 168 just won't work in Crawford's favor. That's a massive, massive jump, man. I agree. Canelo and Bud are the same physically, with Crawford having 2 to 3 reach advantage. Crawford walks around the 160. This is a mega fight, man. Like, I understand like walking around at that weight, but being in shape and being ready to fight at that weight is 2 different things, in my opinion, man. As someone who, especially when I was running, I walk around, like right now, right? I walk around maybe 172, 170, but my race weight was 163, 164. And I feel differently at 170 than I do at 160, 160 plus. So him walking around at 160, man, that's great. But being in shape and ready to fight and carrying that at the weight that he's got to fight in, man, I think it's a different story. My opinion anyway. They're not the same physically. Height and reach is not size. Shout out to Munguia, but I don't think he can beat David Morrell at 154. No, absolutely not. I don't think he beats him right now, especially either. Bud started at 135. He is small dude. Teofimo is bigger next to him. Absolutely, man. Teofimo probably walks around probably 154, 160, in my opinion. Crawford, Canelo are both 5'5". I'm saying height and reach not the same thing as size. Madriv is a dog. Bud's in a tough fight. He's in a tough fight. He's called Turkey. No way. I'm calling him His Excellency. So cringe. Let's see how long it lasts before money runs out, man. I think, I don't think that country has money to run out. I think they got a lot. They got a lot. Canelo, Crawford, all fantasy and money. Crawford, Canelo would be more competitive than Canelo versus Benavidez. Crawford or dog. Yeah, man. That's, I think so too, man. Again, like, I think Canelo Benavidez will be a great fight, but it's like, until they do it, it's tough. It's tough because people go in there with Canelo and fight a different way. They go into the Canelo fight and they fight a different fight. I think Benavidez would fight the normal fight that he would do, but man, there's a lot that comes with fighting Canelo, man. It's got to be so definitive, or you got to stop him to get the win against him, no matter who you are. It's like saying Tank versus Inoue. They got the same height and reach, but are not the same size. Bud fighting at 160, you give up speed and timing. That extra weight is disadvantage, man. Munguia, that's a great fight. That is a great fight, Jesus. That's a great fight, man. Munguia is a great shot. Absolutely. We will see how Crawford fares at 154. Then this conversation will be more substance. Yeah, Madrov is a tough opponent, man. It's a tough opponent. And Bud hasn't fought in a while, man. And I wouldn't even say that he really fought. It wasn't a hard fight against Errol Spence. And he's been inactive now for like a year, and he's getting a little bit older. And I know Bud stays in the gym, but still, the body ages. It takes a little bit more to get back into it, man. So he's in tough against Madriv, man. Lauren Price in the UK, man. Lauren Price, I forgot who she is fighting, but I think she's gonna get it done. Robbie Davis, man, this could be a great opportunity for him against a name like Lipinets, and I think he gets it done. Man. Let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about the card that was on this morning. Get your guys' thoughts on it. And Inoue and Nery. Oh, man. The first round, man, I think Inoue got what he needed to be woken up. You know what I'm saying? He's been extremely confident, extremely dominant in fights coming up. And I think the knockdown by Nery was exactly what he needed to wake up. He needed that to wake up, man. And you know what I'm saying? There's always, when we talk about greatness, right? When we talk about greatness in any sport, you want to see how someone fares when, it doesn't go their way. In the face of adversity, in the face of opposition, when you get knocked down, are you who you say that you are? Because in life, as we know, how you respond to adversity is going to show the heart of your character. And when Inoue got knocked down, I don't think it was a devastating punch by no means, man. It was a right shot at the right time. Inoue does have defensive flaws, as Nery has way more defensive flaws. No fighter is perfect. Inoue is a complete fighter, but he's not a perfect fighter. No fighter is perfect. And when he got knocked down, that woke him up. He came out the next round smiling a little bit. He knew Nery caught him good. You know what I'm saying? And you can respect that. And Nery's got the power, right? But the greatness of a fighter. What happens when you get knocked down? Well, now we were going to see, because he'd never been knocked down before. And Inoue did a great job of keeping his composure and sticking to his game plan and dialed in more defensively, right? You could see coming into that fight, right? When you look at the entirety and the totality of a fight, you got to look at the mannerisms of them. And when Inoue was coming in, man, he was walking in with a lot of heaviness and pressure on his shoulders and his face. He's always a serious cat. But when you hear stuff outside of the ring saying, man, the last time that they fought in this arena was when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. And you hear all of these things from different people, and you hear things saying, oh man, who knows what could happen? The upset is in the air. It weighs on you. And he's a guy who carries a lot of weight on him, and the people is watching. And when he did get knocked down, it's like he woke up again. I thought Nery fought as good as a fight as he could fight. And he was good early, but Inoue responded like the champion that he is and got the stoppage win. Couple knockdowns along the way, but it looked like the weight when he got knocked down, man, he was able to breathe and his shoulders relaxed a little bit, and he came back to having fun in the fight. Like when he was calling him over and say, come on, man, come on. And then pop through with that left hand, the funness, man. I always, there's this thing in track and field. Whenever you run tense and you force and you try to run fast, you never run fast. But when you let the timing come and you go in relaxed, your body responds to that. And I felt like Inoue responded extremely well. And when he got knocked down, remembered, I have all the tools to beat this guy. Let me go back to fighting my fight. And I will continue every round to break him down and do what I need to do and not rush the process. So I thought it was a good fight. I think I don't want to speak for anybody. I'm going to go to the comments, but we expected the fight to end by some form of stoppage. But let me not say that. There are some people in the comments that thought it was going to go the distance. Whether that was whether that was your actual thoughts on that, or that was going to bring you the most outcome pay wise. But, for the most part, many of us didn't think that fight was going to go the distance. And it played out how we thought it was going to be as far as the result, but a lot of people didn't see Inoue getting dropped. I knew he was going to get hit, but I didn't think he was going to get dropped. But that was probably the best thing for him moving forward, man. So thought it was a good fight, man. Thought it was a good fight for as long as it lasted. Let's go to the comments. My man TJ says what he needed. Absolutely. Yeah. Jessica McCaskill, man. Yeah, I like Lauren Price in that one, man. I thought McCaskill hasn't looked great in a couple fights to me. Crawford, Madrov, the best fight card ever. Better card than the 5 vs. 5. Man, there's some really good fights coming up, bro. That's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. And, oh, man, Bivol. Better Biev, man. I don't even know who the cat is stepping in for Better Biev, bro. For those that know Bivol's new opponent, please let me know. Obviously, I'm going to do my research and stuff, and we're going to get that sorted out, and I'm going to do that. But off the top of the head, like, I don't know that cat. Is he solid? Is he good? But, man, I'm glad that the fight is still going on. But the main event, man, that just got really, really watered down. Can Inoue continue to move up like Pacquiao did? I don't know, man. We gonna see, man. I think 126 is a tough division, and not to mention, his countryman is coming behind him. When in Junto Nakatani, Junto Nakatani seems like he could fight at 122, 126 right now. But as he goes up, the level of competition, man, it's gonna be a little bit tougher. Canelo don't fight Mexican because they're Canelo don't fight Mexicans because there ain't other Mexican citizens who are on his level. Period. Benavidez next, hopefully. I'm not even sure what that means, Kelly, but I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. You speaking in code right now. You got to break this down. I don't know what this. That's a I'm not even going to try to decipher that, but I appreciate you. Inoue fight was crazy. I was shocked seeing Nery knock him down in the first round. I was like, no way. Then Inoue did Inoue things afterwards. All knockdowns were left hooks, man. It was exactly, again, first round. Anytime somebody talks about a knockout, let alone like a first round knockout, knockdown, knockout, I'm like, bro, come on, man. But for those who were, who woke up sleepy, I'm an early riser anyway, so I was already up. I wake up at 5:30 every morning, so I was already up. But if you're not an early riser, that definitely woke you up to be excited for the fight because I liked it. I liked it. How are you gonna respond? You want to be great? Show us that greatness is upon you, and that, man. Great performance, way to stay disciplined, and way to turn back momentum on your side, man. Whenever Inoue fights here in the States, I got to get my tickets. Job done for Takuma, but nowhere near his brother's levels. No, man. But he did surprise me big time against Jerwin Ancajas. I didn't think he had that stoppage in him, but that was a great performance. Takai should have been disqualified for the amount of times he threw low blows, which was definitely 10 times. Yeah, but man, the judges are going to let that slide a little bit. A few more seconds, and I think Maloney could have stopped. Yeah, I think so too, because he was coming on strong, man. But, you can't wait till the last round like that, man. But solid competition. In a way, apparently defending titles against Goodman. And I heard somebody say, now, I don't know why this fight would be where this person said, like, Inoue is coming over for a baseball game, and I think Dodger Stadium, and they said this fight could be on American soil at Dodger Stadium. Do I believe that to be true? I don't really think so, because he's probably going to make way more money over in Japan. But if that does happen, that would be pretty cool, man. Shout out to Sean Goodman for Goodman for getting his opportunity, man. That's what I'm talking about. So runners should not run with emotion, anger, but fighters can or shouldn't. I'm just saying fighters fight better when they are loose, when they are not holding the pressure on their shoulders, when they're in there having fun. That's what I mean when I compare the two in that regard. What do you think? And Naoya should fight next. I think it's going to be interesting, man. I think it's going to be interesting to see. I think Goodman's probably, if they brought him up, if he made the trip over there to Japan, you have to assume that fight is going to happen next. You don't bring someone all the way over there and then that not happen. I think that would be who he fight next. And I think maybe he fights one more and then he moves up to 126. But what I do see in this one, man, there's always this notion of Inoue being the monster that he is, and he's untouchable and this and that. This was a great thing for, I think, everybody who is looking down and watching him come up, like the guys at 126, right? They're like, okay, so we've seen how dominant this guy's been, but now he's been touched, right? Now we know that he can go down. And so that makes things even a little bit better for everybody who's looking at him, thinking about, man, I can't wait to get my opportunity. I saw Shushu Carrington after the fight, a tweet that somebody sent me that said, it said 4 letters. It said food, right? I don't think Shushu is ready for Inoue right now. Couple more fights, and I'd love to see it. But when you see Inoue get knocked down like how we did, it makes other guys who is looking at him and coming down, especially at 126, thinking, if Nery can hurt him, man, then I can definitely hurt him too. But I'm assuming it's going to be Goodman next. So I think I'm gonna go with that, man. There's more people that I want to see him fight at 126 than I want to see him fight at 122. Andy Ruiz versus Soft Baby, Bivol. Man, that's such an interesting fight right here, right? Like, I remember what Andy Ruiz like looks like, but like I don't remember what the man fights like. I haven't seen the man in so long. I haven't seen the man in so long, and Big Baby is getting a lot of opportunities, man. I will say, Bivol versus Malik Zanat. Yeah, I think I know. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know who Malik Zanat is, and if he ever sees this, I hope he doesn't take that as any disrespect. I will be making sure I know who he is. But man, when you have Bivol and Better Biev, man, that's what we wanted to see. So that makes the card just a little bit tough, but it's gonna be a great card. Nery was lunging in too much, open himself, wild punches. Yeah, Nery, man, he just wanted to get the stoppage win, man. And I think once he dropped him the first time, he was like, okay, I want to do my best to make that happen again. And his defensive responsibility, it kind of just went out the window a little bit, and he was just trying to get the win. Pound for pound fight number one, monster. Inoue showed more skill in boxing against Fulton. But because Nery is here in Japan and because it was the Tokyo Dome, Inoue was definitely focused on getting the KO. Very good points, my brother. I agree. And that's what everybody was saying on the outside as well, too. Like I heard a lot of people saying, man, Inoue is going to get revenge on Nery. And I'm just like, yeah, but, you still got to fight your fight. You still got to fight your fight, right? Your thoughts on boxing in the morning? It's unique and different. I think if you are like everybody here and who will watch this a little bit later, if you are someone who really enjoys boxing, man, and like you just love watching fights, we're going to tune in. We're going to watch it, and over there in Japan, it seems like, how football is in America and this side of the world, we're going to tune in to watch on any day of the week. And in Japan, it seems like boxing on Mondays is a normal thing. I really don't know what to think, man. I think it's great, and I don't think it's great at the same time. I think it just depends where you are. Obviously, we like it, what I'm saying, because we kind of get two fights in 1 week, two main fights in 1 week. We get the Monday, and then we're getting another we get fights Wednesday, we get Lomachenko on Sunday, so for us, it was cool. But then it's like the time as well too, which is why I think, people who are not in Europe, on this side of the world, it's a little bit tough because, again, unless you like it, who's really going to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning to watch a fight? You know what I'm saying? Even if you like it, but yeah, it's different. It's different. Doesn't seem like there's a real threat for Inoue at 122. At 126, there's good fights for him. Those are my thoughts as well too. But I think if he said he wants to fight 3 fights this year at 122, then I think that's what will happen. But I am waiting. Looking forward for him more at 126 because I think there's some great competition there. Absolutely, I agree. Inoue for September. Yeah, knowing him, he seems like he's a guy who is like, yo, if you want me to be ready in like 3 months, 2 months, I'll probably be there. But yeah, I think he'll be more than ready for September. And then he might even fight in December. That would be great. I would have made Bivol versus Boazzi or Yard as replacement. Man, is it Boazzi? Anthony Yard, is he going through some like managerial things, like promoter stuff? Because I thought we were gonna see Yard and Boazzi like that. It shouldn't have been that hard of a deal, but we'll see. Inoue is a little nightmare monster, as I call him, man. Inoue fight was 1 p.m. UK, so perfect for me, but bad idea for America. Yeah, it's unless you really like the sport of boxing, man, and maybe you're already up, and more people are going to miss the fight than they are going to wake up for the fight. Unless you got your alarm set, man, it's just tough. Like for me, like I'm an early riser anyway, so I was already up. But for most people, they watch the replays, they watch the highlights, they watched it in different times. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Who you got for Andy Ruiz versus Big Baby? I think I honestly don't know what to think of this one, man, right now, my brother Ben, man. Big Baby's got early rounds in him. Dubois handled him towards the end of the fight. Andy Ruiz, that's another person who we haven't seen in years. Yeah, we see you training. We see you running on the treadmill a little bit, the elliptical, getting your cardio right, doing your thing, staying active. But bro, we haven't seen you in the ring in how long? So we don't even know what you like anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know. And I don't even really know right now. I think Andy Ruiz obviously is going to be the favorite, and it would make sense. But now, I mean, to me, it's can Andy Ruiz stop Baby, or will he just outbox him? I think Andy Ruiz is better on all fronts to me, and I think he should win the fight even with the inactivity, because I don't think Big Baby is that good. He's tough, but we're gonna see in training camp, man. This fight's gonna come down to discipline, I think. But I will say, man, the inactivity does put a question mark for me. I don't like to get too caught up in, man, easy stuff for Ruiz, this and that. The inactivity does, make things a little bit 50-50 for me. But again, Andy Ruiz should be able to outbox him, do his thing, and get it done. But can he stop Big Baby? If I had to say right now, Ben, Andy Ruiz by decision. And I wonder how much he will come in too. You know what I'm saying? Like what his weight will be like. And I don't know. Last point before I get to the comments. All these things just keep coming to me. I saw Zhang tipping the scale again at 300 pounds against Deontay Wilder. This is my thoughts. I want to hear you guys' thoughts as well too. What do you think a fight in the heavyweight division? Do you think fighters coming in a little bit heavier serves them well? Like, I don't think so. I don't want to see you at 300 pounds, man, because that means to tell me that you're trying to go for the stoppage. You're trying to knock him out early. That's going to work against you as the fight goes on. Just come in shape and ready to fight. What are your thoughts on that, man? Before we move things forward, Yar definitely falling out with Warren as much. Warren denies it. Oh, man. Easy winner. It's not even a debate. Miller is a big, soft teddy bear on juice. And we're going to talk about the juice in a little bit. Pablo, what's going on, my man? Good to see you, my brother. I appreciate your generosity, man. Thank you so much, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. We know inactivity can kill careers 1,000%. My man, appreciate that, my man. M. Bryant, Mr. Bryant is what I'm gonna call you, man. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you for your generosity, man. I really appreciate that, man. You guys' support really means a lot. Much love and appreciation, man. Anytime you guys send anything my way, man, you don't have to, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Miller is over 300 pounds and he belongs in sumo. You know what's funny about that, Chris? He might be all right in sumo. Like, he might do his thing. Miller gassed that after 2 rounds in Dubois. Man, did he ever. That extra weight won't be beneficial for Zhang. He's known for slowing down in fights, although I'm a big fan. Yeah, he has been known to slow it down, man. He needs to come in the same weight as when he fought Joe Joyce, that 270 range. I like that for Big Bang. At 300, I don't like that stuff, bro. I don't like that stuff. Let's keep it pushing, man. Any more thoughts on Inoue's performance, any of the other fights happening before we move forward? Let me answer a couple more comments and then we'll move forward. I don't want to serious new activities. Yeah, he's been talking a lot more than he is. Man, dog, if he would have taken the AJ rematch like seriousness and didn't let the success get to his head, dog, he would have been so much better. Because I think he is skilled with a lot of talent, man. But let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. Let's move on. So, as I said at the beginning, it's been 2 weeks now since we weren't able to do the live, and a lot has happened, like Ryan Garcia testing positive for Ostarine. Thoughts? Does that change his win over Devin Haney for you guys? What do you think about this? So tell you a quick story, man. A guy I know, he recently got caught on Ostarine, track and field athlete. Now, he called me, we were talking about it, man, and I was just like, bro, like, wait, what? Like, okay, walk me through all of the steps to when you found this out, because I want to know. I never like judging a person. I want to hear how they got there and what this is all about. And so he was telling me, he was like, bro, when I got positive for this, I wasn't even at home. I'm like, okay, what do you mean you weren't at home? So this is how things can work. I'm not 100% sure how the boxing side of things. I'm just telling you from my experience in track and field, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of drugs in track and field as much as there's a lot of drugs in boxing, and there's different things. So, bit of a long-winded explanation as you guys give me your thoughts, which we're going to get into the comments as well too. So in track and field, man, you get like a list, and the list is like this big. It's a big paper, and it has all of the things that could possibly have banned substance in it, and things that you should not take. So it has a list, and it'll say what is in it, what you shouldn't take, what's in it that can get you popped, and what's the level of ban that you'll have if you get popped for this thing. So a couple things off memory comes to mind is cough medicine, right? You can't take a certain amount of cough medicine because that can allow you to be positive. So for me, when I was running, I didn't even take any cough medicine. There was another guy that I know, he tested positive because he had it's slipping my mind. It's that little drink that when you go to the store, you can see it. It's in like 5-hour energy drink. He got caught. He got banned 3 months because he took 5-hour energy drink 3 times, and his system, it got popped for that. So in track, there's a list of things. So for me, on the guy that told me about the Ostarine, he had to send in all of his supplements and all these different things. So he did not, the guy that I know, he did not get found guilty of it because his roommate was taking some things that had Ostarine in it and things that had illegal substance in it because he was trying to bulk up. It was his roommate, and he was trying to bulk up for bodybuilding. And at the time, he used the guy who got tested positive for Ostarine. He was using his stuff, and he was using his gear, and the stuff that when he was taking the substance, the bodybuilder, his roommate, some of the stuff got contaminated with his gear and his stuff, and he was able to prove it, and he didn't get any ban. So there are different things that you can cause this thing for it to come and you be positive for it. The interesting part for me about this Ryan Garcia situation is he wanted a B sample as if the B sample was going to change anything. The B sample, if your A came back positive, your B came back, it's going to come back positive as well too. I remember when we talk about, again, different things, going back to another thing that came to mind, Ben Johnson in the sport of track and field. Ben Johnson, back in 1988, won gold, 100 meters, 9.79. And the day after he got tested, his sample came back and they found stanozolol in his stream, in his system. You can only inject stanozolol by injection, right? Stanozolol is what they give horses, right? It's like a strength. When horses are weak and they're kind of sick, you can give them stanozolol to help boost their system and metabolism, and it makes you recover a lot faster. So it's just so many different things, man. But Ryan Garcia, man, he is in a whole world of things, man. And he needs to send in all of his supplements and all of the things that he thinks um, could possibly have Osterine in it. And he's not looking too good, man. It's not looking too good for Ryan Garcia, man. It's not looking too good. And the other thing too is when in the talked about earlier, when they talk about the thing that they sent you in track and field, the whole list, and they say it all the time. You are responsible for what you put into your body. And so, Ryan Garcia, man, you are responsible for what you put into your body. If you can't prove anything, man, they're gonna be in a world of trouble, man. A world of trouble, man. A world of trouble. You gotta test your supplements, man. You gotta test your stuff. You gotta test that stuff, man, because you don't want to come back and have stuff like this happen. And if you are positive and you cannot prove anything, right? Terrible look, terrible look, terrible look. And it would be interesting to see what the ban timeline would be. Let's go. That extra weight won't be beneficial for Zhang. He known for slowing down. Oh, read that one. I want to see Ruiz. If he is, then his heavyweight force. Ruiz was too fat overweight when beat AJ. He's a lot more fit now. Just a shame not inactive. Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. He caught AJ nicely though. Remember that? Remember that shot? That was nice. CBS was Rapport 2 prediction. Give me Richard Reactpo, the midnight train, man. If the PED is confirmed, I hope Ryan get banned to fight worldwide for at least 2 years. Stop putting boxers live in the risk, man. If he is found guilty, man, you know, he got to just own it. He got to own it. Do I think he will own it? Absolutely not, because, you know, very few people do. I predicted it on the weight. He took something. I'm sick to death of this now, especially over here in the UK with the ban saga. If you fail a test, you should be banned for life. And the interesting thing was when he said, man, he was like, man, if I was tested positive before the fight, then why didn't they just stop me from fighting there? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, like, yo, one, there's too much at stake. And the other thing is the tests don't just come back right away. So even if you tested positive a day or two before, right, you weren't going to know the results until after the fight because they got to run their tests. It takes a good amount of time to be able to get the samples back that says this is what it is. So they probably were going through their tests, and that's why the fight wasn't stopped on his case. So I just think he's going about this in so many different ways, man. Just, you know, he's denying that he's not taking steroids. But I'm like, bro, like you realize there's a lot of different performance enhancing drugs out there that aren't necessarily steroids, right? So, you know, interesting. Just, you know, just a conversation as we're often. Garcia win was always tainted anyway. He missed weight. Absolutely. Sadly for Haney, those 3 knockdowns will be in our mind forever. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Exactly. All sports professionals are sent a list of illegal substances and your responsibility. Man, I had another cat, man, a teammate of mine. This was like years ago. This was probably my second to last year in the sport. Man, I just finished training and my man calls me. He says, yo, Keem, he's like, bro, I made a mistake. I'm like, what you mean you made a mistake? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, I just got tested positive. I said, tested positive for what? So my man had a groin injury. He had a groin injury and he was supposed to run the following week. And he was like, man, like I cannot miss this meet. So he had a groin injury and he went to a massage therapist and a well-known massage therapist, and he didn't ask any questions, right? And this is another downfall for athletes, you know. And the massage therapist said, yo, like I have this cream and we can put this cream on you and this cream will help you recover faster. And he wasn't thinking too much about it, right? And he just said, yeah, for sure. Like whatever's going to help me to get back into the race. And after the race, tested positive because the cream was performance enhancing. So it's like, yo, there's so many different things that can be performance enhancing. It's not just steroids. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew another cat too. Again, track and field and boxing from the outside, from it comes to the drugs stuff, it's very similar. I knew another cat as well too that tested positive for steroids. He was taking, like, there's certain asthma puffers that have a certain level amount of milligrams in it when it comes to your asthma puffer. There's steroids in that, and he tested positive because he was having I think he was having like a breakdown, and he took the puffer like 6 times before the race. That got him popped, 2-month ban. So there's so many different things. Like, this not steroids is one thing, but a lot of different performance enhancing drugs, man. So yeah, it's he got to know that list. I really like Dev and how he goes about doing his business as far as making the fights that we want to see. But Dev has some defensive bad habits that can be exploited with IQ and athleticism. My man, Brian, I think you said it right there, man. Athleticism is one of those things that I think will give Devin Haney problems, man. Devin Haney works hard. Like, all of these guys work hard. And I respect all of these cats, right? That's why in the breakdowns, I do my best to be unbiased and give a fair approach. But man, athletic fighters, man, you have now shown a way how, you can crack that Devin Haney puzzle a little bit, but it does get the taintedness because he came overweight, and, with the positive tests, make things a little bit more interesting, man. I'm not having this nonsense when they say, I don't know how it got there. Man, that's probably deflection 101. Deflection 101. Not just boxers who need band trainers need band too. Man, if they've had cats just in any sport, man, I always tell cats all the time, man, because I mentor a lot of different athletes in different sport, and I tell them all the time. I said, if you are in the room and there's a trainer there that says, yo, I have something that can get you back a little bit faster. Oh, it's all legal. I said, yo, leave that room. Get as far out of that room as possible, because you don't want to be none of that, man. You don't want to get none of that. He know dang well it takes time. That's what sealed it for me. Shout out to you, William, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. And I agree. Like, he knows tests don't just come back like that. It takes time for them to run their tests. He was caught with the antibiotics for that crazy bodybuilders do. That's what's crazy, man. Bodybuilding is one of the most scariest terrains in sports, man, because you've seen those cats, William. You've seen those cats, everybody on the chat. Like, those bodybuilders are massive. You really think you can get big naturally, but that big? Man, I don't know, bro. Shiraz versus Emma Williams, heck of a fight. Who do you think about this fight, man? I think it's a really good fight, man. I know a lot of people seem to be writing off Emma Williams, but I'm not writing Ammo out, man. I think it's a great fight for both, man. I don't know right now, man. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Sometimes I lean Shiraz, sometimes I lean Ammo. I think it just depends what version of Ammo are we going to get, but Shiraz is a problem. I think it's a good fight. I'm assuming Shiraz will be plus money. Let me know if that is correct. All right, let's move forward. Let's see where we left off. You know what? Let's go. I got to jump out here in 20 minutes. Well, I'm going to try to stay on as long as possible. Okay, so let's go here. So this is what I was talking about right here. So a new segment that we're going to be doing, man, it's called Round 4 Round. So what I wanted to do, man, was I wanted to get anyone who is on right now opportunities for you to just come on, get 2 minutes to talk about whatever you want to talk about, man. Share your thoughts on anything that you want to share your thoughts on. Again, this is wanted to be an interactive part of the show, man. So I'm gonna drop the link in the comments right here. Anybody that wants to come on as we go into the Q&A part of the show as well too, I'm gonna drop the link in to come into the chat and to get whatever you want to get off in your heart, man. Members get 3 minutes, because we got to try to make sure we wait, let me just drop it in the chat real quick. Why is it over there? Boom, let's do that. Boom. So anybody want to come on the chat? The link is in the live screen, live chat right now. Whatever you want to touch on, definitely come on. If not, it is all good. Okay, let's go back here. Tank and Haney trading words in person today. I did see that. Yo, Tank, Tank is out here causing havoc right now, man. He's just going around. Yeah, he's selling the fight, right? He's selling the fight. So shout out to Tank, man. I mean, him and Floyd been going back and forth too, which is very interesting because of those two been rocking with each other for so long, and to see them operating how they're operating, man, very, very, very interesting. But yeah, I definitely did see that. I definitely did see that. And there was an interview on the show that I was watching, $1 million worth of game. I didn't see the full show. I just saw clips. But Tank seems to think that Frank was out partying with Ryan Garcia. He seems to think that he was doing the same things that Garcia was doing. And he was like, yo, you can't be going out partying. And like how he's been partying. You're not athletic like that to be able to do that. So it's going to be interesting, man. What I didn't like was when Tank said, he said, bro, you trash, bro. You trash, bro. You can't, if you're about to fight someone, Tank, you can't say someone is trash, because if you win, what does that say? What does that say? Oh man, Pablo, what's going on?
Kim, my man, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I want to apologize in advance to all the guys from the chat because English is not my native language. So yeah,
man.
Yeah, I apologize in advance.
You're doing great, man. You're doing great, man. All the way from Chile, man. What's going on, my man? It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you. I work in home office, Mondays and Tuesdays. So yeah, I can, see you live. I love to see you. And many thanks for your content. I really enjoy that. I mean, you're so professional. So yeah, I really love to watch your videos.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, man, I like the yellow. Yellow looks good on you, man. The yellow looks good on me, man. Man, so whatever you want to get off, man, I'm going to ask you this, man. What did you think about the fights this weekend? Did anything stuck out to you? Canelo, Munguia, did it play out how you thought it was going to play out? What do you think about it?
Pretty much. It played what I expect, Canelo Munguia, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There was a huge difference between Munguia and today, now, when Munguia get knocked down, he stood up immediately. And now, he took some time, he took the time and then stood up. So yeah, there was a huge difference in the knockdown. And I love today's fight. I love it now, his performance, I mean, because you can practice in training camp. You can spar hundreds of rounds. You
Absolutely.
can, try combinations, working your force, but you cannot practice to get knocked down, in front of 25, 100,000. you cannot practice that. So yeah, so that was in the first round. So yeah, that was fantastic what we saw today. And Nery too, his performance was good. He was there to win the fight, not just to cash a paycheck and last some round. No, he really wanted to do a good fight. So yeah, it was good.
I actually thought Nery handled the pressure well, because he knows he's not like there. You know what I'm saying? Like with everything that happened, he knows he's not like there. And for him to come out and disrupt things in the first round, man, that was beautiful, man. It brought the excitement to it, man. I thought it was a good performance. We didn't think it was going to go to full 12. You know what I'm saying? Like we knew somebody was getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But
and what's so cool to see, like now, we like walking backwards. What was the first time that I saw that? So yeah, I think it was he gained a lot of experience now, with this fight. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
And it went to show too, like the awareness to when Nery's coming in on offense and he's knocked me down, to go and hug him up and hold him. You know what I'm saying? That's a smart move. When you know you're in danger, right? Don't be stupid. Don't let the ego go. Tie up, survive the round, and get back. And then what I liked more, Pablo, man, he came out and he was smiling. So it was, sometimes smiles mean, okay, yo, that actually really hurt. I'm trying to play it off. Or it means like, okay, bro, like you got me. You know what I'm saying? Like you got me. Good shot. I saw what you did there.
Definitely. So yeah, was a really good fight today. So yeah, I have to wake up a bit early, to watch the fight. But anyway, it was really good.
Man, stay on a little bit longer, man. Stay on a little bit longer. We'll talk a little bit longer, man. Chat says English. Your English is perfectly fine. Much, much better than my Spanish. Shout out to my man D2B, man. I appreciate you, man. My man, brother Francisco says, is there good boxing
No,
scene in Chile?
not really, not really. No, there's no boxing. No, there's not like boxing culture. So it's really cool for me like to watch your channel, like Punch Perfect. I watch some programs like Box Urbano Network. They cover a lot of boxing in Cuba and Puerto Rico. So yeah, there boxing doesn't exist here actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's not common. I train a lot, but it isn't common like pro boxing. You don't. It doesn't exist basically.
So even in the
So,
like amateur level, there's no like
no,
amateur level.
yeah, there is some at the level, but I mean, you cannot live, have a life, to gain money in boxing here. It's impossible.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
tough. That's
yeah.
tough. My man Chris says your English is perfect. Speak better English than most UK people who speak nonsense. Would rather listen to you, Pablo. Don't worry. Shout out to shout out to Chris, man. My man Sibanowski, good content all the way from South Africa, man. I appreciate you, my brother. And I never mean to mispronounce anybody's name, man. So please forgive me if I did not pronounce that properly. But I do appreciate you, man. Always love and appreciation, man. This guy right here, Sibanese, was the first one to tell me about Sivanachi Nanshinga. And we saw his rebound win over Curel not too long ago. Inoue got dropped with a great clean shot, took his time to recover, made it out to the second round, made adjustments, and then put some heat to his ASS, slumped him, slumped him against the ropes. Man, Pablo, let me ask you this question, man. Who would you like to see Canelo fight next? Obviously, it is David Benavidez, but say we don't see that. Who would you like to see him fight next that would get you excited for the
Then we
fight?
love David Morales. He's my favorite fighter in 160. He went up to 175, but
Yeah,
I think for the decent man, he could come back, to 168, I
yeah,
think. But I mean, I think we're gonna see like Berlanga in September. I think that's for sure. It's gonna be a easy piece for Canelo. But yeah, I think David Morales, he's my favorite fighter actually.
yeah. He's a beast.
It
He's a
is.
beast. I like what David Benavidez said on regards to. I thought it was very mature of what he said. He said, "Man, if Berlanga is going to get um, Canelo, then Caleb Plant should fight Berlanga first, like because
Definitely.
it makes sense. It makes sense. Berlanga is going to get Jay. What's going on, man? Canelo.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
What's good to see you, man? Appreciate you taking the time to
Hey,
tune in, man.
hey, that's crazy, man. My girl told me to hop on. She said you were on, so she sent me the link. What's up with
Oh,
you guys? How
Rachel.
you doing? She's good.
Oh man, tell her I say hello.
I will, most definitely, man. I'm watching you guys on YouTube right now, so I wanted to hop on, man, and put in my 2 cents.
Oh, all right, man. Let's hear it, man. What you think? Give me your thoughts. What's on your mind?
Well, I think Berlanga, he has a chance to get the Canelo fight. I like to see Bud get it. I think he deserves it. He's at the tail end of his career. I would like for him to have that big payday. I think it'll make a huge event
Yeah,
because Bud has that aura of invincibility right now. So
yeah,
I think it'll make a huge event. And he definitely has a reach advantage and the height, but he's giving up some size. But he
yeah.
deserves it. He's one of the more deserving fighters out there. I think Benavidez is gonna get it, but I think he's gonna have to wait till next year. That has to marinate, man. That has to marinate. I know people hate it, but that's the business. That's the business of boxing.
Man, let me ask you this. Benavidez moving up, and Pablo, this is for you too, and chat for you guys as well too. Benavidez moving up to fight Gosdick, right? What do you think about that fight?
I
I
think it's
think it's a
good.
good. I think it's a good tune-up for Benavidez.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree.
Did you hear what Teddy Atlas said?
Man, he's a
No.
hater. I love Teddy Atlas. I love Teddy Atlas, but you know, he's so biased, man, for being like a big media member. It's so obvious, you know, and that's like he has his favorites. He knows boxing. I can't take that
Oh,
from him.
1000%.
You know, but man, he doesn't like Canelo, man. He doesn't like Canelo. So anything Canelo, it's like I can't take him. I can't take him serious.
And before I get your thoughts, Pablo, and this is the thing too, bro, because when somebody sent me this, man, um, Atlas used to train Gosdick. so I was just like, yo, that don't it makes sense. It's on par. And I like Teddy Atlas. I love watching the show. He's a great mind. But I'm like, man, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how that fight plays out, man. Pablo, what are your thoughts on that, man? Benavidez Gosdick, what do you think?
I think it's a good tune-up fight, for Benavides. It's perfect, he's going up, in division. So yeah, he did a really good fight, against Benavides. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good fight for Benavides, yeah, against Guts. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Jay, let me ask you this too, man. Both of you guys as well too. When you look at what just happened as far as promotion-wise, right? Boots and Crowley. What do you think about that fight? Just off the top of your mind, don't got to get too much into, but what do you think about that fight, man? Especially we haven't seen Boots in a while. Again, inactivity is a crazy thing, but what do you think about that fight? What do you think about that fight?
I love him, Jaron Woods, and I love him. He's like kind of perfect, like complete fighter. That's the exact word for me. I love fighters like Jaron Woods, and yeah.
I think it's a good intro fight to the Matchroom umbrella for Boots. I
Yeah,
think it's a fight he should win. I think he's a formidable opponent. But it's a fight that Boots he should be able to win.
man, I just want to see him fight more, bro. I'm saying, like, I think so many times we want to put people in this greatness category, and like I get it, the potential is there.
Correct me
But
if I'm wrong, but is he still at 47 or is this a debut at 54?
nah, he's still at 47. He's still at
He's got to
47.
see, there's nothing left there, man. All the actions at 54. You got Crawford left. Spence is leaving. Fundura's there. Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz. I mean, who are going to fight August 3rd. By the way, Akeem, man, I got something for you. I want you to come out here August 3rd. I got a ticket for you for the August 3rd card right here in L.A.
Oh man, we in LA? Oh, we in
We
LA,
in L.A. with
August?
it, man. You got to pull up on me, man. I got you. I'll take
Hey
care of
man,
you when you come out here.
hey man, we're gonna talk about this after. We're gonna talk about
For
this after,
sure.
bro.
For sure.
Oh man, let me drop some of these comments real quick, man. Bipolar, I met Teddy and Gosdick at the Hall of Fame a few years ago when he kept calling the best 100 in the world. In the world? Okay. All right. As
Before you met Better Beef.
as he should, though. Teddy just sticking up for his guy. What's good, man? What's good, Akeem? I hope Benavidez, but why not a rematch with Bivol? Are you talking about Canelo here? If you are talking about Canelo, man, honestly, man, I think Canelo's pride was hurt a little bit against Bivol. But I don't think he wants that rematch. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally would think he'd fight Bud before he fights Benavidez. So I don't know.
I've been saying this for years. He has no business at 175 pounds. I think 168
I
is
don't think so
pushing
either.
it. I thought his first 75 debut with Kovalev, I thought Canelo looked terrible. I know he got the late knockout, but it wasn't a good performance. Great knockout, bad performance. I thought he should have never went back up there.
It kind of reminds me of, remember when Roy Jones went up to fight, like he got a title at like what, about 2 something? Like he went up to fight because he knew he could beat the champion, but he just went up to get the belt.
heavyweight,
Yeah.
John Reeves, yeah.
And then he went back in the interview and says, "Oh no, hell no, I'm not going up with those guys. Those guys are different up there."
Yeah,
and I
man.
think it was one of those situations for Canelo. Like you're fighting an aging Kovalev. It wasn't the bone crusher Kovalev he wasn't crushing no bones. We don't know that cat.
Yeah, exactly. It was just for him to make history, be a 4 division champ, and then that should have been it. He should have left it at that, because he has a middleweight frame and he's fighting at super middleweight, and he's 5'8". All those guys are like well over 6 feet tall. It's a big boy weight class, but his experience and his power, he does well at 68, but 75, those guys are different, man. Those guys walking around at like 200 pounds.
Man, Let me get you guys' thoughts on this real quick. Where does David Morrell stack up at 168, 175 for you guys?
I think Morel's at the top of the. He's at the top of the division. Just the eyeball test alone. He looks like he's the goods. He hasn't been tested. His level. He hasn't fought anybody that can really, see where he's really at. But I know he's making a 75 debut.
Yeah,
So I think that's a better weight class for him. He's a big guy. And I'm looking forward to seeing him and Benavidez down the line.
that's a great fight, bro.
Benavidez said he's getting sick and tired of hearing him call his name out, and he's waiting on the Canelo sweepstakes like everyone else. But if he can't get that, he said he's gonna shut him up.
But you know what I like about Benavidez, bro, is like, yo, my career gonna be jumping with or without you. You know what I'm saying? And I like that he's not waiting, even though when Canelo calls, bro, like, yo, you can't ignore that payday by no means. Like, you got to take what you got to take. Pablo, what you think, man? I know Morel is your guy. I know that's your guy.
Morel is my guy. I have watched like many interviews, like in the Spanish YouTube channels. Thing is for Morel, and he have always said like the fighters they don't want to combat against Morel because one he's a dangerous guy, and the second thing he doesn't make a lot of money. So yeah, if you want to fight with Morel, the purse isn't that big. So yeah, it's like a lot of risk and there's not a lot of money. So yeah, the mix is not good. So yeah, that's a trouble for Morel. And they have said all the time in many interviews, like I would love to fight like more time, have more activity, but the guys don't want to fight me. So yeah, that's a thing for Morel. I love him. I really say a complete fighter. I love him. He's aggressive. He has power. But yeah, he needs like better opposition. I agree with you. What can I say?
Man, while it's fresh on my thoughts, man, the fight that we were looking forward to, as far as like people who love boxing, love watching the sport, the boxing heads, talking about Better BF and Bivol, man. With Better BF pulling out, having to pull out for another injury. He's 38 now, 39, 40. Who were you going for before, and does this injury change your mind?
To me, it's a 50-50 fight. I keep going back and forth. Like I like Bivol's footwork. I like his athleticism, but no one has gone 12 rounds with Better Beef, man. So it's hard. And then he has skills. He's not just a one-dimensional puncher. There's a method. There's a method to his madness. So, he has concussive power, but he has skills too. He has a deep amateur background, just like Bivol. It's a pick 'em fight, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if Better Beef gets off to a late start, because sometimes he can be a little bit of a slow starter, it might be tough to get Bivol out of there. If it goes 12, I'll see Bivol pulling out a decision, banking a lot of the early rounds. But if Better Beef starts touching him up early, it can get very interesting. And as of right now, I can't pick a winner, man. Gun to my head, I gotta go Better Beef.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I would add just one thing about Bivol. He's a smart guy. Has a lot of
very
ring
smart,
IQ.
very disciplined.
He could knock out Canelo, but he must like took some risk, and he didn't want to do that. He was like straight to the plan. Straight from the game plan. So yeah, I like him against Peter Viev. I took Bivol for a decision. Yeah,
Man,
I like it.
That's a fight. I mean, that card is going to be stacked. I'm glad they're keeping that fight going, man. But it's one of those things for me where I'm just like, man, I could see Bivol winning the early rounds, but at some point you're going to have to fight, bro. Like at some point, Better BF going to bring that pressure, be right in front of your face, and you cannot not fight back and stand your ground, right? And especially when your ego is tested and when the plan doesn't go according to how you thought it was going to be, and you realize that power is real, you're going to have to fight. And I don't know if he knows what to do during those 50-50 fights. And that's the question mark for me. I don't doubt his discipline, his focus, his IQ, his skills. And as they always say, skills pay the bills, but sometimes there's exceptions to that rules. Like Bernardo Lopez, you can say what you want about that cat, but I pick him to beat a lot of these cats, man, especially at 126, right? So 126, 130, 135 even, but that for me is going to both those 50-50 fights. I'm just like, man, I don't know if Bivol knows how to handle that. But with the injury, makes things more interesting.
And
I,
one more thing, I came, I meant there was like heavyweight, program in that undercard. So that means that the
Yeah,
ring size should be like large. So that would benefit Bivol,
yeah.
because he had like better footwork. So yeah, I like Bivol. I like Bivol.
it's a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight. I don't think the injury is going to matter so much because he's
Yeah,
taking time off. I
yeah.
think it would matter if they kept the date and he was going in there with something lingering. But the fact that they postponed it to give him that additional time, I think he'll
Could
be
be
fine.
helpful. Yeah,
Yeah. But like I said, I remember Canelo at times he just didn't have that stamina and that gas tank at 75. But when he was touching up Bivol, he was bothering him. But Bivol does a good job of keeping that poker face,
yeah.
and but Beterbiev, although Canelo's a good puncher, Beterbiev's a huge puncher at 75. So, I it's tough, man. Like I said, I think the keys to victory for Beterbiev is to start early. Start touching him up early. Go to that body, try to take some of those legs away. But Bival's an excellent boxer. So it's a huge it's a pick 'em fight, honestly.
And it's
I can't call Beterbiev a puncher. He got skills, man. He got skills.
I just think he just doesn't want to, because I thought he could have, honestly, man, I thought he could have stopped Lyndon Arthur, right? But just because I think that doesn't mean that's not what he's going to do. That's why in the prediction I went with decision, because I know he can stop him, but I just don't think he's that risk taker. Like, man, I'm going to go ahead and just, he's like, I could do that, but I don't want to get hit, which is fine. He's smart enough to keep it at distance and box his way to a victory. And he could come out and box circles around Beterbiev. Like, it's a possibility, and Beterbiev could come out and stop him.
Yeah.
So it's one of those fights where it's like, when it does happen, I think it will live up to the hype and the conversation, in my opinion.
Nah, it's gonna be a
Uh,
great fight.
I always prefer the guy that can go to 7 rounds first. Knockouts don't happen much at the top level. I got Bivol in that fight, man. I hear what you're saying, man, but man, Beterbiev knocked everybody out of his face, so it's kind of tough for me to say. Lopez versus Valdez next. Rough night for Valdez. We're talking about Venado because that man's style is a tough night for anybody. How awkward he is. Sean T, what's going on, man? What's going on, man? Another thing that came to mind, guys, before let me see. I got time. I don't know if y'all got a little bit more time, but I got some time.
I got time, man. Hey, I got time today.
Man, I want to get you guys' thoughts on Garcia and Haney, the recent fight, the allegation, the tested positive. Does this change anything for you guys? What were you guys thinking about this?
Man, let me tell you this. I'm disappointed in Haney.
Yeah,
I picked him to win a decision. I
same.
picked him to box circles around Garcia. I didn't think Garcia was crazy. He was on every single podcast. When you're preparing for war, man, it's not just physical preparation, it's mental
Mental,
as
yep.
well. So, the fact that he's hanging out with Charleston White, for Christ's sakes, he's hanging out with everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm like, there's no way this dude is taking this serious. Absolutely. And although there are allegations, PD allegations, and when it comes to that, you're guilty till proven innocent.
Yeah,
I agree with it. But it don't help you with skills, man. He still kept touching that chin. He exposed the defensive flaws that Devin Haney has. The only thing I question is if he was on something, then it could have helped him with the power, with the damage he did to Haney. But it don't help the fact that his chin was exposed and he couldn't get away from the left hook. And all Haney talked about was you have one punch and you need more than one punch to beat me because I'm going to take it away from you. And I believed him. I
yeah,
believed he was an elite boxer that you do need more than one shot to beat him with. And that's all he needed. That's all he needed. And he
yeah,
knew he knew it was coming. He knew it was coming and he couldn't do anything about it. He just couldn't do anything about it. And I don't want to hear anything about, well, he was hurt from the first round. He won the next 4 rounds with the jab. And I felt like, I don't know if Garcia was just playing possum. He took him off because he wasn't really throwing much. But when he got busy, he hurt Haney.
yeah,
And I was talking to a boxing coach who's, he's 75 years old, Donald Dickens. He's known here in LA. And he said he doesn't care so much for the PEDs because he said his chin was wide open when he was touching him. Had he been punching through the guard and hurting
yeah,
him,
it would have
That's
been a different
different.
story. Yeah,
That's a different story. But he was hitting him with the chin wide open. And Garcia has power, man. You know, I know some people that like, oh nah, man, he's been hitting hard since the amateurs. He's always had power. You know, so I think it's just a matter of him having Haney's number.
yeah,
That's just what I think. I know there was 3-3 in the amateurs, but now we're with 8-ounce gloves, no headgear. And
yeah,
Haney doesn't have any power. So the
yeah,
difference to me was I thought they were going to match each other in speed. Garcia was a quicker and he was the bigger puncher, and then Haney couldn't hurt him.
yeah.
It was just a bad style matchup. But Garcia fooled the world, man. He had us thinking he was crazy. And I was like, this guy is not mentally ready, and he's going up against an elite boxer like Devin Haney. Ah man, he's gonna shut him out. He's gonna pitch a shutout. And I was shocked, man. I haven't been this shocked in a long time for a boxing fight. I'll admit that.
Before I share my thoughts on that, Pablo, what you got, man? What you think about that?
Yeah, I brought you like in the chat. If the PED is confirmed, I think that would Ryan should be banned for boxing worldwide, not just in USA. Worldwide for at least 2 years. I mean, if it's true, he put in danger like David Haney's life. So I mean, that's I mean, that's irrelevant. So
Yeah,
yeah, I was shocked in the fight. I couldn't believe it when I was there. What happened over the ring. So yeah, even though if it's true, I brought you. We guys, we will never forget about those three knockdowns. That's a pity, for
The
Devin
damage is
Haney.
done.
Yeah, the damage is done, definitely. I mean,
Yeah, the
and
damage is done.
and that's the thing that people were saying, right? Like they were saying, "Oh, Keem, like he came overweight," and I'm like, "Yo, I get all of that completely, but it still doesn't neglect everything that happened inside of the ring." And when the fight started, man, after the knockdown, I was like, "Yo, what is Haney doing?" Like, I think he was listening too much about people saying, "Man, I'm gonna stop him. I have to stop him." You're like, bro, don't listen to us. Like, yo, don't listen to us. Whatever we don't. I thought he was more disciplined in the sense of fighting his fight. And in this one, I was like, yo, what the heck? What is he doing? This isn't the type of Devin Haney that we're used to seeing.
Right.
This is not the type. You don't know who you are in the ring right now. And that was the more surprising thing for me, because he was trying to stop Ryan Garcia rather than just sticking to what he does. Bro, you're a boxer, right? You
Right.
have decent pop. You can back guys up, but you're never going to stun cats. And so for me, I was just like, I was more disappointed in how he performed. I'm like, bro, don't listen to the outside noise. You've been doing such a great job of that. But you let the pillow fist comments get into your head, and he just was not who the history showed that he was on the night. And even with the stuff that Ryan Garcia was saying, it makes me, because he after the fight, he was just like, bro, I don't understand why people thought that I was crazy. Well, bro, because you pulled out of a fight. You pulled out of a fight once before because you were having, mental battles. So what the heck were we supposed to think? Even if we gave you the benefit of the doubt, you pulled out of a fight because you weren't mentally ready, prepared to. So to me, it's just like, yo, were you just not training back then, or was that serious? Like, I don't know what's true about this cat no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I heard reports that he was partying in New York the week of the fight, drinking alcohol, ordering bottles. I'm like, hey, this dude might mess around and walk out of the fight mid fight. Nothing would
I,
surprise me. You know what I mean? I'm like, he might just Roberto Duran in the 6th, 7th round and say, I'm out of here, man. I can't hit him. I'm gone.
Oh
You know
my.
what I'm saying?
guys, I don't know if it's true or not that like, right he bet on him. If that is true and if it is confirmed, I think the guy should be like a lawsuit for a scam. Like you
Yeah.
He
cannot bet
confirmed it.
on
He
you.
confirmed it. He confirmed that it was true on the Jake Paul podcast.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that in box. Well, I guess Floyd. That's not true because Floyd used to do it all the time, right?
He had his team do it in increments because they
So
won't accept just a 2 million straight bet. That's too much.
he didn't technically do it on his own.
Nah, he had people in his team do it
Okay.
in large sums.
Man, he should have the dude from the NBA should have taken that on, because that dude's nonsense. You saw that NBA cat bet?
Yeah,
Banned
I
for-
saw that. Yeah,
Stupid.
yeah, but I mean, I think it's a lot of fighters that do that in boxing. I mean, Floyd used to bet on himself. Shane Mosley bet on himself. $500,000 that he was going to beat Canelo, and he lost. So, you know, they do this all the time.
Yeah,
Now, if
man.
you bet on
Yeah,
yourself to
yeah.
lose,
I
you
think
bet
it's
on
fine.
yourself to lose. That's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. But you can also you cannot bet to win if you know that you have like asteroids or wherever in your organism. I mean you because it's a fraud.
Akeem, I have a question for you because I know you've participated, you've been tested before when you were an athlete. Um, Now this is what I would do if I was Team Garcia. If he says Vada, you can't trust him because of their ties with Victor Conte and the whole Balco stuff. Why doesn't he hire USADA? If he got that shit in his system, it should probably still be there. Why doesn't he have USADA test him immediately? Like do something on live where they're testing him immediately, and then sue Vada
Hmm.
if he's in fact telling the truth. Because in
Yeah,
court, all this stuff is gonna come out.
yeah, yeah.
And he did say he is gonna sue, but I don't know if he is or he's not. Because if he says test my B sample, bro, it's gonna come up positive. It's the
Always,
same sample.
always. Haters have opinion. What's going on, man? All right, we're gonna tap in with you later, man. To answer your question, bro. Um, Again, I think this is more Garcia trying to find ways around it as he's trying to look for an answer, because he keeps putting things back on men. He's working with Victor Conti and this and that because Victor Conti has been known to supply cats with performance enhancing drugs, and using that as a scapegoat. I don't think he really knows what to do, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really don't think. I think he was not. You never expect to get caught, and then when you get caught, you're trying to find out. Holy crap! What am I supposed to do? How do I clear my name? How do I go about it? Because for me, as I said earlier, man, you get this list, and this list tells you exactly what to take, what not to take, what could be in it, what couldn't be in it. And so for me, I think he is trying to find ways to. Sometimes misinformation is good information because it kind of muddies the water a little bit, and I think that's what he's doing to try to buy time. So for me, I don't know what he's doing, bro. I actually don't know. I actually don't know. Haters have an opinion. You hear? You hear, man? All right, man. You might have to get the sound back. I'm gonna try to get you back again so you can get your stuff off. Can you hear us? But Jay, yeah, man. I don't know, bro. I'm disappointed in him, in Garcia, his team, because they should know better. You guys been doing this long enough to know what should be going in your body, what should, man. And so, but I'm also disappointed in how Devin Haney fought. But all in all, man, honestly, I think it was something that boxing kind of needed, bro, just to disrupt things a little bit,
Right.
to stir up the pot a little bit. But now the whole thing is going to have a little asterisk towards it. But at the end of the day, the tape is still out there. The fight still happened, and we know the outcome. So, again, just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it, man.
Well, we don't condone cheating, man. We don't condone cheating, man.
1,000%, 1,000%.
So probably, it, but I don't know. Haney did go out there with a terrible game plan. I guess Bill Haney really was talking it up, but I thought it was just pre-talk. Because Akeem, how many times have we heard, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and then they go into the ring and they present a completely different style, So I thought it was just talk to have Ryan come out and be aggressive. Bill Haney saying, "We're gonna meet you in the center of the ring." I'm like, Garcia's a puncher. You're not gonna meet him in the center of the ring. You're gonna outbox him. You're gonna use your footwork. You're gonna use your jab. You're gonna stay disciplined, you know, um, and beat him round by round. He came out to the center of the ring, mixed it up with him, got caught early, and that was the beginning of the end, man.
Bro, don't be coming at the bro. You're not in the center type of guy, man. And I was also disappointed with Ryan Devin's corner. They didn't. Usually they do a decent job of making adjustments and telling him what you need to do, but man, Bill seemed like he didn't have anything. Tough one. Haters have opinion. You hear, man?
Do you hear me now?
Yes, man. I hear
All
you now.
right. So
What's going on, man?
everything is good, man. But you want to know my opinion on what happened?
All right, man. Let's get it up. Get it off, man.
Since the press conference, I think Ryan Garcia made Devin Haney feel comfortable. He let Devin Haney choke him, slap him. He let him do all these things. So Devin Haney, in his mind, felt, I'm gonna get this KO. I'm bullying this kid on press conferences. He looking like he's drunk. He's looking like he's high. He ain't focused. This was Devin Haney's mind coming into this. So he has to now, like, let's say you're a bully and you slap somebody up in high school every day.
Yeah.
You feel like you're gonna knock this dude out. He's a chump. That's how Devin Haney had his mind. But it wasn't the reality. The reality is Ryan was the puncher, Haney was the boxer. And he fell into believing he was a puncher, because it was Ryan playing this fucking game with him. And then he found out it was not. As soon as that left hook landed, he realized he was in trouble. And the steroids thing, I do believe Ryan knew he was on steroids. My opinion. I felt Ryan knew he can't be embarrassed again on pay-per-view. He already quit once against Tank. He can't take another L, especially after all this antics he was doing. Bro, I felt like the kid wasn't. I felt like he should have been banned from the sport from where he was acting before testing positive, saying he was getting high, drunk. This was not any sportsmanship. This was like beyond. I was like, yo, what the fuck? Is this kid crazy? But he tricked us all. I won money on the kid. I put $20 on him to win by decision and got 400. I put 20 because I didn't believe. But it looked like the gambling people didn't believe either because the odds were so crazy. But that's my opinion. I guess. But yes, he deserves at least 2-year ban for this.
Yeah.
For real, at least 2-year ban. This was crazy. And he's playing it all. Playing is the ashwagandha. He's blaming Victor Content. He just needs to man up, hopefully, and just say he did it. Don't take the Conor Ben route. You know what I'm saying? But that's my opinion on it.
Yeah. No, man, that's some good points, bro. Like we all didn't know what to expect of Ryan Garcia, right? Because we just the man is a wild card. I did think it was interesting what Tim Bradley said. Tim Bradley said, man, this is who he really is. And there's probably some truth to that.
I'm
gonna be honest. The kid kind of scares me because
I'm not betting against Ryan Garcia ever again. I don't care who he's fighting.
Hey, if we don't see him going crazy like this leading up to a fight, I'm worried.
Yeah, I don't know who he is because one minute he's Mr. Jesus. Jesus gave me power.
Don't get me started on that, bro.
So I don't know who this kid is, But I'm when this fight comes, I'm not picking against him. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably it'll go to decision. If the odds are crazy, but it depends on who he's fighting. Let's see what happens with his court dates because that's what's gonna happen with him because we don't know if he's gonna get banned or not.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Because those last 3 pounds are probably the hardest to lose. And we actually haven't seen him fight at 140, bro. Like, I think about that. We haven't seen him fight at 140.
I got a good question for you.
Right.
What do you think? Who should Devin Haney face next? What should he do next?
Frank Martin.
You think so?
No. What's his name? No, the Spanish dude. What's his name? Martin.
Sandor Martin.
Sandor Martin.
He's mandatory. He's just mandatory, and he's not a puncher.
Yeah, I think if I was like Bill Haney or I don't know who controls his career, Bill Haney or Eddie Hearn, I think they should go to Sandor Martin route, and then right after that, Richardson Hitchens. People that don't got a punching power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the only way because we don't know how damaged he is from that Ryan Garcia fight. Like he took a beating. Really took a beating.
His ass whooped.
It's funny.
His jaw looked crazy.
Man, because before they were talking about Devin Haney and Matthias.
Right? Oh, hell no.
Look, you know what's crazy? I thought Devin Haney had a chance, man, because I saw after what he did to Regis, I was like, yo, he can do it.
Hey, man, yeah, bro.
He can do it. He just don't stand in the pocket with him. Yeah, don't stand in the pocket with him. Move, jab, move, jab, move, jab. That's because the problem with the Matias is the people that fight Matias, they stand in the pocket with him and then they just give up. They like, yo, they get tired. They're like, damn, I gotta go to war with this guy another round, and they just give up.
He makes you fight in the pocket, man.
He does. He makes the ring short on you. But me, this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm going with Lampero for the upset. I'm going with the upset. I think the kid is not dumb enough to fall for the same tricks everybody else is falling for, just standing there with him. And he's a southpaw, young, and he moves around. And I like what he did to Montana Love, even though Montana Love is not Matias, but
yeah,
he's smart. I think the kid is smart, man. I think we're not looking at these Australian boxers really good, man. This guy he could shock the world, my opinion.
Man, Paro good, man. You know, when
we did see Matisse lose before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
and then they had a rematch. Then they had a rematch, and then what happened?
It's,
yeah.
It's gonna be a good fight, bro. The thing is, and this is what I've learned as you watch more Matthias fight, is to see. I used to think he's just this cat that just comes forward and just lets his hands go, but he does. There's a lot of tactical and strategy to what he does. He can cut off the ring really well. And the thing is, man, there are some fighters to me, bro, where it's just like it's a nightmare to fight. Pitbull Cruz is another one. Cruz, I don't think he's anything special, but he's a nightmare to fight.
Nah, I think
Matthias is a nightmare to fight.
We're looking at Pitbull Cruz the wrong way. I think Pitbull Cruz is actually really talented. We just don't look at it. His defense was pretty good versus Tank Davis, even though they say Tank Davis had one hand. He was not getting caught. He was really fighting good, and the boy hits hard, man. He is hard. I think Rios is in for a hell of a night, man.
Oh, or a short night. Hell of a night or a short night, either one.
Yeah, I don't think. I think he should have took another easy fight, because that De Los Santos fight could have ended his career. Even though he got the Colbert, but Colbert doesn't hit hard at all. I think he needed one more easy touch before a Pitbull. But it is what it is. You're getting that Saudi money.
I would have liked the De Los Santos rematch instead, man. I think it's a more. I don't know if he can beat him, but Pitbull, the money was too good. The card was too good.
Yeah, I really thought that was up next. I thought it was going to be De Los Santos rematch, but now they're saying De Los Santos versus one of the Russells. I hope it's not the 140 Russell.
Turkey Al-Shah made that call, man. You pick up the phone.
Yes, he did.
Hey, he said, I got money for everybody. Who want to be up?
Hey, when Turkey Al-Shah and Canelo call, you pick up.
Yeah, when he's making these fights that we want to see happen, he's making them happen. So, hey, when he gets that call, yeah, man. And supposedly soon we're gonna get promoters versus promoters. I hear Oscar De La Hoya maybe versus Top Rank or even Matchroom. Wow. So we're getting things that we want with this guy. So he's coming to save boxing, really.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. That's like some Don King 1990 stat card, man. That August 3rd card, because all those guys, like usually these big cards be top heavy. Yeah, they're paying the guys so much money, the headliners, but like everybody's getting paid, man, and they have like the last 3 fights could be main events. Tim Tszyu versus Virgil. That's crazy. Yes. I can't even believe that's happening.
To me, I thought that should have been the main event.
Man, I think, honestly, I was surprised by that fight. And honestly, I don't think Virgil Ortiz's team really wants him to take that fight. But Virgil is just like, yo, I want that fight, bro. Like,
yeah, I kind of seen Oscar.
They said his dad got the call, and he said Virgil was playing video games, and he says, Virgil, they called about Tim Tszyu. You want the fight? He said he looked over and said, yeah, I'll take it, and went back to playing video games.
Went back to getting on the sticks. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm going to be honest. He needs to take this fight, because the way his career is going, it's like it's not moving. It's not moving. And it's like he's fighting Delorme. Why Delorme? You know what I'm saying? It's just not moving. His biggest fight was finally going to happen at 147 versus Stanionis, and that got canceled like 3 times. And that was going to be the fight to show us where his level really is. Even though he stopped the Mean Machine, but Stanionis is a younger guy. It was going to be his level right there, and we didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, I don't like the fight for both teams, man. I think I would, if I was Tim Tszyu's team, I would have been trying to press for that Fundora rematch. He should be a unified champion if it wasn't for that freak accident and his corner failing him, because they should have stopped that fight. I was at that fight, second row, man. It was a bloody mess. I felt like I was in hell with so much blood.
Oh, it looked worse in person.
Bro, it looked bad in person, man. I was sitting right in back of Winky Wright. And Winky Wright was like, man, they got to stop this fight.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen some freak joint happen with an elbow like that in boxing. It's one of those things where fate is like destiny or something. This man had the fight in the bag the first 2 rounds, clocking him. Everything he threw was landing clean.
Man, he got a laser right hand. A laser right hand.
And then that bullshit happened, man.
And it happened at the last second of the second round.
And I agree 100% with you. His corner should have stopped it and had it a no contest, where he could have retained the belt before the fourth round.
Or they should have had him empty the tank for the next 2 rounds, empty the tank, and he would have got the win if they would have stopped it at the 5th, because he was up the first 3 rounds.
But you can't even let it at the judges with he's the whole plan was to take the belt from him.
Yeah,
I think the whole thing where he thought he was preparing for Keith Thurman was a bullshit. I think Keith Thurman never had any intent of fighting him, and I think it was just a Al Heyman decision. Like, yo, we're gonna trick this guy. Fundora, get ready, because you're really fighting this guy. It's one of those Pacquiao Ugas things. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is happening. They're just stealing the belt. You're preparing for somebody that really ain't who you really fighting. It's happened so many times with these PBC guys. So I felt he should have had it a no contest by the 4th, and that's it, and then do the rematch. But hey, it looked like he's going the hard route, and Fundora might go the easy one.
He likes to fight. He likes to fight, bro. Man, let's finish up with this last one, bro. Let's finish up with the last one. Get you guys' perspective on this one. Let's talk a little Shakur Stevenson, man. I know hitters of opinion. I know you got thoughts on it, man. I know you got thoughts.
You want me to tell you? You want to tell me how you want me to tell you how I feel it?
Keep it PG for me. Keep it PG for me, though. Keep it PG for me. So start us off, Pablo, and then Jay finish us out, man.
All right. I think he is the softest dude in New Jersey, and I'm from New Jersey. I'm really disappointed in him.
Hey, shout out to Brick City, man.
Yeah, shout out to them, but he ain't the shot. He ain't the one though. Let me tell you something. I'm really sick of this kid, man. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
He came from being one of my favorite fighters. I'm telling you. I thought he was gonna be the one out of all these young guys. I thought he was gonna be the one until that De Los Santos fight. He didn't want that fight. He didn't want that fight. He didn't want De Los Santos. He didn't want Jermaine Ortiz. These was the guys, like, he complains every day about fighters ducking him. But you got other fighters that are calling you to fight. Mm-hmm. Either you gotta take what's there. And he didn't want to take the De Los Santos fight. And that night we saw why. He's a guy that if he gets hit, he'll run. He's not, it is no problem with running. But the way he did it was just, people are paying to see you, man. You know what I'm saying? People are paying to see you, and you're putting people to sleep. This was a Thursday night. This ain't even a Saturday, because he don't even belong on Saturday. He don't belong on Saturday.
That's right. I forgot it was a Thursday fight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I had family and friends come over. They slept. They were sleeping on my couch, man. This is bad. And the thing is, they say the sweet science, slick boxers. Floyd Mayweather used to make dudes miss and make them pay. Yeah. Shakur ran. He ran. He wasn't trying to exchange at all. And what I hate was ESPN created the excuse. His hand on the fly. They just said, "Yo, I think his hand is injured." His grandfather never said that. He never said that until weeks later. He said that, and it's the BS, man. What he should have did, he should have shut the world up, took the rematch, and proved to us he's not a runner, or fight Raymond Maitaya. That's a dude that was calling for the fight. He called for the fight. And Shakur told Bob Arum that's not the fight he wanted. Instead, he fighting a guy coming off a loss. You know what I'm saying? He should have just took the 25% Devin Haney was taking, and then he could have had all the belts, and we all would have had a shut up. But instead, he's going cherry picking. I don't know what's gonna up with this kid's career. Hopefully, he does get a big fight where William Cepeda or something like that. But for now, I don't want to see the kid. I don't want to see him.
Yeah. It's tough. I think now he's starting to realize that, like, yo, this is also an entertainment thing as well, too. Like, it's prize fighting. You got to look good. I still like Shakur, man, but I knew you would have opinions on that, bro. So
yeah, I don't like the kid at all. I don't like him. I don't like his smile. I don't like nothing of him no more. It's over. The love I have for the kid is gone. I think he's a coward. I'm gonna pass the rock. Go ahead, guys, because I could go on for days.
No, I totally agree. You know, that night he won for the record. but was a massive loss in the commercial, perspective. I wouldn't pay a dime to see that kid. I remember it was a Thursday. I went in bed like at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in Chile. That was really, really late night for a really bad fight. Yeah, so yeah, it was a shame that night. So yeah, I think it was a massive loss in the perspective, commercial point for Shakur. It's gonna be tough for the kid to try to sell pay-per-view in the future. I mean, you're gonna sell no pay-per-views in the future.
Nah, look,
Fighting like this.
I live in New Jersey, right? And I always wanted to go to an event of his here in Newark because it's like 20 minutes away. I could just drive there. But after that, after seeing that performance, never. It's not worth the drive, not worth the gas. He's not worth nothing. I would never watch this kid, man.
My man,
And
in case you're going, bring a pillow because you're gonna fall asleep. So yeah,
yes.
prepare.
And look, and he wants
pillow, bro. Oh man.
And he wants the big fight. He wants the Tank Davis, right? And I'm not saying he probably can't beat Tank. He probably could because he's a good boxer. But why would we watch that? We know we already saw a preview of what you'll do with a southpaw with that has power punch. You ran. So why would I pay to see you versus Tank if he's a southpaw that has power in his hands? You'll run too. Not worth it. Not worth it. He got to prove himself.
Yeah. Jay, what you think, man? Your audio is off, bro. Nah, can't hear you. If you gotta jump in and then jump back out, you could do that as well. Man, Shakur, man, look, I think he's got all the talent and the skill in the world still. But when he fought De Los Santos, man, it just goes to show that, like, are you as good as you think that you are? Or when you get an uncomfortable situation and position, how are you going to fight? And this is the thing in these individual sports like this. It's like you're only as good as your last fight, and that's the memory that we got from you.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you, Jay.
All right, sounds good. Nah, man, with that Shakur fight, look, I'm just glad he got the dub because I had him on my parlay. Let me start off by saying that, all right? Number two, it looked like he was in there fighting somebody with a knife, that had a knife, man.
That's what it looked like.
The way he was jumping back, I'm like, damn, how hard does he hit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But to be a box office attraction, you got to take some risks. So, there's nothing wrong with being a safety first fighter like, Mayweather was, but you still have to deliver entertainment. You got to take some risk. And he don't want to take no risk. He don't want to get hit at all. And Floyd didn't mind getting in the deep water. He'd get in there with the sharks, and Shakur wants no contact at all. He don't want no contact. He just wants to hit and run and move. And like, he got to take more risks, or maybe he just doesn't trust his chin.
That's what let me tell you something.
Yeah, that could be part of it too.
Yeah, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, right? He's like a question mark. You know what I'm saying? I thought that night we would see the question mark. We would see what would happen if he gets touched, what adversity he would show if he was hurt. We didn't get to see none of that. He ran. I'm gonna keep it PG. He ran like a coward. You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad thing. Look, Devin Haney got his butt whooped, but I will watch Devin Haney fight 100 times every time he fight because
he got up.
I know he got heart, and I know he got skills and heart, and I know it's always going to be exciting. Always. I never seen a Devin Haney fight that was boring. Even when he fought Linares, the boy showed he had no legs and he was showing heart. So Shakur, I'm done with that boy. Until if he fight Raymond Marataya, I'll watch him because that's the dude that get hit too. But if you're gonna fight somebody coming off a loss, come on, man. Basically, you're fighting somebody that just I don't want to diss the opponent because he did pretty good against Frank Martin. But dag, man, like you're a champion now, man. Conduct yourself like a champion. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's also if
Thank you.
What do you think about De Los Santos as well, too, right? Because he didn't make the adjustments, right? So it's like if we're critical on Shakur, then we got to say something about De Los Santos as well, too. But at the same time, it's kind of like when what's that boy's name? And Jared Anderson and
Murphy.
That fight, yeah, that fight was terrible.
It's so hard to stop
Very.
someone, bro, when they're not coming to fight. So it reminded me similarly of that fight. And I like Shakur, bro. Like, I'm a Shakur guy. I think he is that good. But sometimes you get put in a position like that, and it's just like, yo, where you're supposed to look good, where it's supposed to be exciting, and the complete opposite happens. It's just like, yo, we can't put this guy on TV like that no more, man.
Yeah, but look, he could have just shut us all up by taking the rematch. That's all he had to do. Take the rematch and prove to us I'm not a runner. I really had a messed up hand. He should have just did that. And then we will all have to really shut up. We'll be like, yo, he took the rematch. He proved us wrong. Like, all right, Floyd had fights where he didn't look good against Castillo. He proved us wrong in the rematch. McDonough fight, he proved us wrong in the rematch. This is things you got to do. He's not even man enough to do that. He's fighting somebody coming off a loss. That's the thing that gets me. He had Munguia there. Both top ranked. And he made an excuse. Oh, nah. This kid, man.
That's a good fight, Shakur Muratov.
Yeah, it's a hell of a fight. It's a hell of a fight. That I hope he doesn't run again, but I would watch it.
We're gonna see if we get it. Man.
That might be the fight to keep Shakur in top rank. I hear this the end of his contract. So
yeah, I heard that too.
That was supposed to be the last fight, but he's fighting somebody coming off a loss, and then I don't know what's going to be with his career after that.
Well, I know he got the WBC strap, right? He got the WBC strap.
Yeah, so, and the thing is, and he's in Munguia is the mandatory for that belt, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I know he wanted the Lomachenko fight, and he was upset for not getting that Lomachenko fight. So after Lomachenko dismantles Kambosos on Saturday, they might have him re-sign a 3-fight extension and with the promise of a Lomachenko unification fight.
No, he already they already tried to get him on Top Rank again. They tried to offer him some millions. He turned it down. He turned it down already. I don't know if the millions will go up.
It's not Top Rank's fault. They done a good job with him. They
paid
him money.
It's a slippery slope, bro. It's a slippery slope because at the end of the day, you still got to perform a way that people will pay.
Yes. I honestly think I think they were giving him like $8 million or something like that. I don't think he's worth it. I honestly don't think he's worth those millions.
Fight on a Thursday?
Yeah, I think Top Rank really sees special things in that kid, and they want to re-sign him, and they really believe they could put him there to be the next big thing. But I think the kid is over his head.
Who's he fighting next again?
The dude that fought Frank Martin.
He
was giving Frank Martin the business in the beginning.
Haratunian.
Yeah,
he about to be like a minus 4,000 in that fight.
Yes, but you know what?
That's being generous, bro.
Take the decision. Take the decision in that fight. Even though Shakur is saying he's gonna stop him, if the guy cracks Shakur is gonna do what he always does.
There's very few people that when they say that they're gonna get a stoppage, bro, that I'll actually believe it. More times than not, I'm like, yo, definitely doubling down on the decision.
The only thing about that guy that I saw in the Frank Martin fight is that he gasses out late, because he was whooping on Martin a little bit, but then he gassed out and Martin dropped him like 2 times or something like that. I don't remember if it was once or twice, but it's because he gassed out.
Yeah, man, fellas, I gotta run, but let's close out with this, man.
I got a question for you, Hakeem. I got a request. I'm gonna need a breakdown on that Giovanni Santillan versus Brian Norman fight that's taking place on the undercard of the Navarrete. Yeah. I know it's a huge step up fight for Brian Norman.
It's coming, bro.
Put decision on that one. Put decision on that one, man. I think Norman ain't what's the Golden Boy fighter that Giovanni beat up?
Alexis Rocha.
Yeah, I think Norman defense is a little better. I think he'll hold and stuff like that. I'll put it'll go to distance. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who will win, but it'll go to distance though.
Well, let me tell you this. It's a huge step up fight for Brian Norman.
Oh, massive!
Santillan, he's been flying under the radar for a long time now. 32-0. I know he's with Robert Garcia, but it's a huge step up fight for Norman. Norman, I don't know about his chin. It's in question. He got dropped by Boca Chica, who's not even a huge puncher early in the fight, and
Yeah.
you know, it would have been interesting what would have happened if the cuts didn't take place. But I don't know, man. They might be throwing him in there with the Lions a little too early, I think.
But look,
And
remember,
it's in Santillan's hometown of San Diego as well.
yeah, remember this.
Yeah.
Remember this.
He could rise to
Before,
the occasion. He
yeah,
could.
before Santillan fought what's his name again from Golden Boy?
Rocha.
Alexis Rocha.
Yeah, before he fought Rocha, he looked it awful in the fight before that.
Yeah.
He looked, and that was a guy that nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looked it awful. He looked it like shit, and he said it himself. He was like, "Yo, I had an off night, this and that," and then he proved his talent versus Rocha. But I just feel like Rocha is one of those guys. Nobody really respect Rocha's power like that.
Right.
But I don't know, man. But Hakeem, tell him, man, what you think,
Bro, I think it's a closer fight, bro, than people think. In my opinion, bro. Like, I'm Santillan fought a great fight, bro. Like, I felt bad for Rocha, man. I was like, yo, please.
He looked like a machine in there.
Stop the fight.
I lost money on that one.
And I went with Rocha to win the fight.
Yeah, decision.
But in this one, man, I don't know, bro. But I think the young buck rises to the occasion. I'm not saying, that I think for sure he's gonna win. Obviously, anything can happen, bro. But I just have this feeling he might rise to the occasion. It's his time to seize it. And I think sometimes when fighters fight in their home city, they don't fight so well, But he's in the spotlight now, right? So that comes with that little political side too.
Yeah, that plays a factor if it's competitive and it goes to the cards. I mean, the hometown guy more than likely is gonna get the nod.
That's true.
But this might be for a strap too, a vacant strap.
Is it?
Yes, sir. It was supposed to be for the interim belt, but Crawford is making his 54 debut, and that's official.
So
they said if he makes his 54 debut, it's official. They're gonna elevate the winner to WBO champion, I believe.
Yeah, man.
It's a huge. A lot is on the line.
It's a great fight, bro. It's a great fight, man. Honestly, man, I might go with the young buck on that one, bro. I don't know. I'm thinking about
Norman.
it.
Yeah.
But put a 20 on it.
Let's close out with this, man. Let me get you guys' opinions real quick. Lomachenko Kambosos, how does it go? I know, Jay. I saw what you put. But what you guys think? Loma, George Kambosos, what you guys think? Pablo, start us off, bro.
Lomachenko is gonna be like a clinic, a boxing clinic, So it's gonna. He just could get robbed, if you go to the decision. But I think it's not gonna happen. I think it's gonna win Lomachenko. I don't think he can knock him down, knock out him. But I think it's gonna win for like a really wide card. Yeah, it's gonna be a lesson.
I don't even think the judges are going to be able to help Kambosos, man. I think it's going to be so wide that they might not even be able to help him, man.
Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be really wide.
Just seeing his last performance, not the fact. I mean, you could have a bad night in the office, right? But it was against Maxie Hughes, man. So I saw how he struggled against the southpaw, and I mean, Maxie Hughes is Lomachenko's levels above Hughes in terms of punching power, footwork, angles, hand speed, experience. So it's like and if you had a hard time with him, you're entering a whole different stratosphere with Lomachenko. And Lomachenko still got it, man. He still got it. He's still fast. He's still strong. I think he wants to make one last run to unify all the belts before he calls it a day. And I think Kambosos is. He's a stepping stone right now to unify the division. But I got Lomachenko. I'm gonna go decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if he stops him.
Okay. Head of that opinion, what you think, man?
What I think, man, I'm just to be honest with you, I'm just so shocked how far one win could get you in boxing. Let me tell you, this dude had one good night, and he's been making so many millions. He got the two biggest paydays with the Haney, with the Haney fights where it was like 90-10 splits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
guy,
yeah.
he played his cards right. I'm talking about this guy won split decisions versus Mickey Bay, past prime Mickey Bay, and another split decision versus somebody else that was past his prime, to beating Tio, to getting all these millions of dollars. And he sells out these Australian events with the names he brings, like Haney and Al Lomachenko. He's gonna get his ass whooped. Oh, he's gonna get beat up. We just don't know. I just don't know how. Is it gonna be knockout or decision? I wish I could pick one and win some money on it, but I just don't know. I don't know if Lomachenko is still no Maschenko. I don't know if he's still that guy. But yes, he's gonna win. Lomachenko gonna beat the bricks off this kid, and that's gonna be the last time we hear from Gamboa.
Man, I hope we get an aggressive Lomachenko, like when he fought. Was it Nakatani? Was it? It was when he fought him. A Lomachenko on the front foot, switching angles right away. Man, that's a dangerous one to beat, bro.
Richard Comey, when he fought Richard Comey.
Yeah, man, I believe he could have stopped Richard. He could have stopped him. But Richard got big hands, man. Well, he didn't want to stay in the pocket right there. You know, you never know.
You know what?
He let him off the hook and looked at the ref and said, "You gonna stop this?"
That was the most disrespectful things that I've seen, bro. Like I've seen some disrespectful things in track and field, bro. Like I've seen cats walk down and spit in another man's lane. But oh yeah, bro. Track is it's wild. But for Loma to say, "Yo, are you gonna stop? Yo, come stop this cat." I'm like, "Yo, bro, don't disrespect me like that ever. Like don't disrespect me like that ever, bro."
Hey, I saw a video on track where the two dudes was racing, right? And one beat the other dude, right? And the dude came from behind him and hit him in the head and joint. That joint had me dying. But look, I want to say this though, guys. You know, you guys gamble sometimes. I don't know if you guys gamble, but keep your eyes open on Gostic for the upset and Lampero. That's all I'm saying, man. I believe this is the first time Benavidez is gonna fight somebody his own height, his own size. You never know.
Man, we was just talking about this earlier, bro. We were just talking about this earlier, so it's funny you say that.
If he could bring back a little of what he had versus Beterbiev that night, a little bit, he'll get the W, man. He'll shock the world, but we don't know.
Benavidez is going to look a lot better at 75 because he doesn't have to deplete himself to make 68. He spars light heavyweights all the time.
Yes, I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying, but the boy never had great defense.
And he beat the brakes at it. He would beat the brakes out of Bivol in sparring. And I know because I seen him do it. I was in the gym and seen him do it.
Listen, you probably did see it. Ramirez said he did the same thing, and look what happened.
Ramirez, I don't think Ramirez ever sparred Bivol. He sparred Benavidez.
Bivol, he sparred Bivol. Zurdo Ramirez, he said he used to whoop on Bivol in sparring. When they fought in the pros, what happened?
He too slow. Gilberto no hand speed, no foot speed to beat a Bivol, but Benavidez don't have that the foot speed, but he has a way of just kind of hovering over his opponents.
I'm just saying, man, those 3 rounds with Andrade, he was getting hit, and if only Andrade had power.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Let me tell you something though. He was getting touched, but a lot of that is just no kill shots get in. So he goes in there with that high guard, and you might throw some combinations, but he has a way of like no kill shots is getting in. Not too much heavy leather is getting in this guard, and a lot of that is just it's pressure, man. You know what I mean? If he feels he don't respect your power, he's gonna walk right to you.
No, I feel you, man. But hey, man, I'm just saying, put some money down. I was listening to a professional boxer called Lonnie B. He spars all these guys from a light heavyweight and super middleweight. He said, man, he believes Gostic is gonna beat Benavidez. So man,
I think he sparred Beterbiev too, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
Man, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he likes Beterbiev.
Put some money there, man.
If Benavidez was fighting Beterbiev, then that'd be a different story.
I
like him beating every light heavyweight out there.
Yeah,
Beterbiev is different.
I don't think that will go 5 rounds.
I don't know, man. That's a different. I don't know.
Benavidez makes one mistake, lights out. I'm telling you, the boy is hard. Hey, man. I saw the Joe Smith Jr.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it.
You hear them shots, man. You hear the shots.
Yeah, but Joe Smith is not on the boxing level of a Benavidez though. Joe
But what?
Smith is
No.
But let me tell you something. We're talking about levels. But what level is Benavidez on? He's a super middleweight. He's the biggest guy up there. And then we were finally gonna see him versus somebody that has his level in that weight class with Morrell, and he ducked him.
You think he ducked Morrell, or you think he was
ducked him.
looking for?
He ducked him. There was no look. When
They
it
might
comes
still
to,
fight
but
at light
listen,
heavyweight.
But listen, when you're
Definitely
at a
could
weight
happen.
class, yeah, when
I
you're in
want
a
to see
weight
that
class,
too.
right?
Hey, you know,
Look,
people that say Benavidez duck Morrell are the same people that
but
say
let me
Terrence
tell you,
Crawford are
but
ducking
no,
boots, man.
but let me tell you this. If you're in a weight class, right,
Yeah,
and there's only one king at the weight class,
yeah.
what and you're calling out guys like Jamal Charlo that's still at 160 or even retired, dude, clean up the whole joint, and then you could call the king. Morrell was the last piece you needed to clean out the division, but he ain't take it. And Morrell was calling him out every day.
Well, to be fair, Ronnie Shields, I know Morrell's been saying Benavidez's name for a while, but they didn't really get serious until recently about fighting Benavidez, because they offered Benavidez team offered Morrell the fight a couple years ago. Ronnie Shields
Yeah,
came out and it's
that's
on
yeah,
YouTube. It's
yeah,
on
but that
YouTube
was,
where he said we're not ready.
yeah, but now he was
So
saying he was ready. He was
yeah,
finally
but
ready.
is
He
it
should have
not
took
taking a step? Is it not taking a step back if you're Benavidez when there's a Canelo fight looming around the corner, and then
that fight is not happening. That fight is
Demetrius
not happening. That fight
is
is not happening.
but
That fight is not happening.
Demetrius Andrade versus Benavidez, which was his last fight, was a bigger event. It's a bigger draw. It's a bigger
Look,
fight.
he got that fight because Andrade had nowhere else to go. Andrade messed up his career when he turned down that Sack Parker fight.
But
That
even
was it.
Charlo, even Jamal Charlo Benavidez is a bigger fight than
But
Morrell.
Jamal Charlo is not going to happen. Jamal Charlo has been avoiding this guy. Stop trying to chase the guys that are avoiding you and fight the ones that are calling you. That's the same thing I had the problem with Shakur Stevenson. Fight the
But
guys that are calling you.
I think
Money,
that Morrell
money
Benavidez fight
talks, man.
happens next year, man. I think it happens next year
I
at
hope so because
175 pounds.
look, if Benavidez gets past Gostick, maybe he will, maybe he won't. We don't know. Supposedly Benavidez beat him up in sparring, but I don't believe sparring. Sparring is one thing, pros
Right.
is another thing. Like you got headgear on in sparring, in pros you don't. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Your heart beats different when there's a crowd. That's my opinion on things. But we'll see. If he gets past him, I would love to see the Morrell fight. I would love to see two young guys that get straight knockouts all the time at the main event. And I believe that Saudi dude can make it happen.
Oh yeah, that man got unlimited money. It seems like, man. He's still,
Yes.
and they still trying to make. It makes sense because you think about all the stuff from Saudi from a political aspect, the reputation that they got, man. This is helping them bring more light to it, saying, you know what? Some great things happening in Saudi. Y'all should come. So it's a great move across the board, man. But
hey man, I already heard bad news already. Shoot, Mr. Turkey, he wanted to make Benavidez after Benavidez versus Volstick. What's his name? Volstick, right?
Yeah.
Gostick or Volstick. Well, he said after that fight, he wanted Benavidez to fight the winner of Better Beef and Bivol. And already there's a video out where Benavidez is saying he can't do that because of his contract.
Oh man, you saw that already?
No.
Yeah,
No, I thought he said he's open to fight the winner. That's why he was going up to 75. Because
I
he
don't know,
says
but
he's basically trying to, if the Canelo fight ain't happening, then I'm gonna try to unify the division at 75. That's his goal.
Hey, I'm gonna send it to you on Twitter. I got him already recorded saying it, man. It broke my heart because you would think that's what you want to see. You've been saying
Let me tell you something though, man.
Yeah.
David, to me, is one of the handful of guys in boxing that wants all the smoke.
I think so too, bro.
I think he's one of the handful that don't play politics, that don't play none of that. He really wants all the smoke, man.
Hey, man, I really think he could beat Canelo. I think he could stop Canelo, but
60-40 David right now. After Canelo's last performance, I'm leaning towards David.
I always had it that way. I had it that way since I've been seeing Canelo have gas problems after 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying? That Jamel Charlo fight really pissed me off because I really wanted to see Jamel try at least to see where we at with Canelo, but he ran.
He made a business decision, man. He made a business decision.
Hey, let me survive, get this check, and be right.
I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Exactly.
He didn't want to end up a meme on the internet the next day, knocked out.
And let me tell you something. The meme world is really what got these boxers afraid to take risks.
Bro, it's a scary world out there, bro. It's a scary world out there, dog.
Ever since that boy Broner got beat up by McDonough, everybody wants to just get a check. Nobody wants to get their jaw broken. Respect to Haney, though.
Yeah, man. But I don't blame Jermell, man. He was getting hit with some serious stuff.
Nah, I do. I blame him. You was talking all that shit on the internet, and now when it's time to fight, you running. You got me paying pay-per-view out here.
But you know, I really feel he did come in trying to win though. Early on, he tried to win. I saw the game plan. I was at the fight, and then he got hit with like a vicious body shot that sounded like he got like a shotgun blast like the third, fourth round, and then after that, he's like, "Fuck that."
But nah, I'm straight.
Yeah, fuck that.
I'm gonna go back to the crib.
That boy been on a milk carton since. Haven't seen him.
Oh man,
made a lot of money, man. He's chilling. He's good.
He's done. Yeah, he gave up all those belts already.
Shit, man. I wouldn't be shocked if he retires, man.
I'm hearing Jamal Charlo's retiring.
Bro, I don't blame him, bro.
Nah, he gotta get Plant, man. He gotta fight Plant. Fuck that. He can't get slapped up like that. And I
want that too, bro, on site. But you know, he might just say, you know what, man, I ain't trying to do none of that, bro.
I think Plant will box circles around him, but he just got to get it back. I don't care how you get it. You got to get that back.
So for him, bro.
For Jamal, like, what's gonna happen with Jamal's career? Like, let's say he decides to come back, he can't just jump into a Plant fight. I think he got to get like, what, 2 tune-ups at least?
Bro, he's what? 34, 35 now? Somewhere there?
He looked at like Doodoo versus what was the small Benavidez?
Jose,
yeah, and that was a 147 guy that moved up. That ain't look good, man. He couldn't even get the stoppage.
And he started at 140.
Yeah.
It's
terrible, man.
Man, fellas, I got a jet, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in, man, sharing the thoughts. You know, I got love for each of you, man. Next week, I mean, we're gonna do this again on Monday, bro. So if y'all will come back on Monday, we're gonna talk again on Monday.
For sure.
Man, let's close out with this, man. Give me one thing you guys are grateful for today, man. That's the motivational segment of this week, man. Give me one thing you're grateful for. Pablo, start us off, man.
I'm healthy. I feel really healthy.
Come on, bro. That's what I'm talking about, man.
I think my family's good. My dad is still alive. My parents still alive. I love them. So yeah. So I think for health, I am grateful. You know, because I have 2 hands, 2 feet. I can work. I can do boxing. I mean, life is good. Life is good. So yeah, I'm happy.
Jay, what you got for me, man?
Man, just having a relationship with the Most High, man. You know, keeping God first, in all that you do. And that's what I'm most grateful for. And I appreciate you having me on, man. And God bless everybody. And then, you know, I'll tap back in with you guys when you do it again.
Bro, anytime, of course, man. Haters have opinion. What you got, man? What you grateful for today, bro?
I'm grateful, man. I'm thankful for life. I'm good. My parents are good. My brother's good. My lady's in the kitchen cooking for me.
Oh, what's she making? What's she making? What y'all have today?
We're on a diet right now. We're on an alkaline diet right now.
Okay.
So we're making the pasta joint, you know, alkaline, you know, Dr. Savvy joint, because I'm trying to lose weight for the summertime. So I'm grateful. Like, the only thing missing right here is $1 million. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully that comes.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Keep praying for it. And that's it. Everything is good with me.
Man,
I would have been there if I'd have bet on Garcia, man. But let me shut up about it. I'm trying to get it back. I'm trying to get it back right now.
We're gonna get it every week. Every weekend we got a different pick. Hey, we gotta go with. I'm going with Usyk on this one.
So I got Tyson, bro.
How you got him? Decision or KO?
Nah, decision, man. I'm not gonna disrespect Usyk like that. He's a dog, and it's a 50-50 fight. But I just think Tyson, he got, you know, he's not that stiff dude that AJ was, just keeping his head on the line like that, getting tagged, gassing out. I like Tyson, man. I think he's going to impose his physicality, which is something AJ didn't do against Usyk. Sure. And then in that second fight, when Robert Garcia had him dig into his body, which was a good game plan, Usyk got a split decision. So it was a closer in the rematch. But again, AJ, his gas tank betrayed him late in the fight. Usyk does come on strong in the second half. But I feel Fury's going to be ready for him, man. And with this extra time, he's really locked in. I think he's going to wear him down.
What about that cut, though?
I'm not worried about that cut. I think it's fine. I don't think Usyk's like a big puncher like that. I think he got respectable power, but I don't think he's like a vicious puncher like that, like a Deontay Wilder or something like that.
You
I
see
think,
what you're saying? What you're saying is some real joint, and that's why to this day I still hate Dubois, man, because he quit.
Well, he's quit before. He quit against George Joyce.
I had that fight was gonna give me 30 racks, right? Because I had him on a parlay. I only needed one more fight. I had 2 tickets. One was Usyk by decision, and Dubois just to win. And I would have had 30 rack on one of those 2 tickets. And what happened? He quit.
Well, let me tell you something. He might quit again against Herkovich.
Don't say that because I already put money on him.
Oh shit!
Oh man!
Hey, look, man. Well, I hope he win now. All right.
Hey, man. Hey, fellas, we'll finish up, man. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all, man. Save what thoughts you have this week, and we go pick it up next week, man. Again, much love to each of you, man. Jay, tell Rachel I say hello for me, bro.
Most definitely.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Pablo, nighttime. Have a good night, bro. Catch up with y'all later, man. Appreciate y'all, boys, man.
All right.
See you, man.
Thank you,
make a parlay with Herkovich now.
hey, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. I'm trying to tell you.
All right. I see you guys. See you next Monday.
Yes, sir.